Hey, what's up? It's the Dollar Store Podcast, episode 2. We are cheap and there's lots of it coming. Yeah. Tonight we are going to go over the FNT UK meetup with my brother from another mother across the pond, Mr. JackTarLad. So let's not waste any precious time and let's bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. What's up?
Heyo, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, dude. I'm doing well. How you?
I'm doing extremely well. Yeah, it was a really fun few days. I'm sure we'll get into it in a bit, but yeah, it was a fun few days, and I can't wait to talk about it. Got like souvenirs and shit. It's fucking awesome.
Cool. Did you cut a piece of Garrett's hair, a lock of? Did you get a lock of his hair? Get some DNA
Yeah,
evidence in case you need to frame him for something.
right out of his ass hole. I like
You
some locks from his butt crack. Yeah. No, I'm
hair.
joking.
Hey,
There's no better place to get DNA than there, surely.
yeah, I know, right? It's butt DNA, dude. You remember the other day when we were talking about Black Sabbath?
Oh yeah,
We were talking about War Pigs. All
yeah.
right, check this out. I have this. I laughed so hard, man. All right, we're about to Inception for a second. Hold on.
Okay. Generals gathered in their masses.
He can't
see without his glasses.
It's so stupid, man. I love it.
Brilliant.
I saw that about 5 minutes ago. I was like, holy shit. All right. Oh, well, we have another. Fortunately, you don't have just, or unfortunately, depending, you don't have just me and Jack here, ladies and gentlemen. We have the lovely, the talented, the most knowledgeable in manga and anime person that I know of, and comic books too. The lovely and do not mess with her. The name Tiny but Fierce is there for a reason, man. We have the lovely Tiny but Fierce. How are you?
I'm all right. Howdy, everybody.
Tiny, how you doing?
Hey, Jack.
Good to see you.
You too.
Oh, good to hear you, at least.
Yeah, well.
How you been?
Ups and downs, but that's life. I saw that you had a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll get into it later. And also, because I saw your stream the other night as well about One Piece, I have watched it from fucking top to tail, and I want to talk about it tonight as well if we can.
Sounds
because
great.
I think it's fucking great. And it also inspired me to actually watch the anime, which I'd never seen before as well. So I've been sort of slowly going through the first part of the, the first series. And so there's a few, really, well, there's a few things that I want to talk about with regards to that anyway. So, if we can talk about that at some point tonight.
Well,
Absolutely.
We got the expert here. So, see, Tiny, this is exactly what you said Oda was talking about, bringing new people into the anime.
Yep. And I'll be honest, I didn't really, I guess partially because there's been almost no really good adaptations ever, especially if you consider everything that Netflix has done. So
And
I was just
carry
thinking that even if it does well, A, I didn't think they could do it this well. And B, even if it does well, I don't really know if it's actually going to bring in all the many people that aren't interested in the first place. But that's what Oda believed it would do. And he was right and I was wrong.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Well, with regards to bringing people in, I think
Yeah.
that's precisely what it's going to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers was talking about it just a few hours ago. And I mean, it's just people who I thought might like it, but it'd be really hard to get them into it. So many people are suddenly going, oh, no, I want to see this. I want to see where this is going. And
I saw a review saying something along the lines of, "Oh yeah, that One Piece, yeah, it just pays fan service," and it's like, yeah, that's right. Well done. Now you're getting it. Like that's what we wanted. We wanted to see, that we wanted to like. I mean, like I say, I hadn't seen the anime, so there are people who have been reading the manga and then saw the anime adaptation, and now they're going into like the live action adaptation of it. And hopefully they're not disappointed. I can see that there are some differences in the story so far, you know, there are, in the way that they've laid it out. But as far as characters, you know, I mean, for example, you know, Kobe, they've got Kobe pretty well matched considering what kind of character Kobe is. You know, he's just a little weed. But I mean,
actually,
like
I think in the anime though, he's about 2.5 feet tall. I was rewatching it and somebody mentioned it and I'm like, they're right, dude. He's like a chihuahua. You trip over him if you're in the anime.
But he has such a glow up over just a 2.5 to 3 year period in the anime that they couldn't pick someone who was too lowly in the beginning, because otherwise glowing him up with live action would look really weird. So I kind of get why they did that, but they did a good job to make him seem very, very weakling and everything else that he is except a height. I mean, there's a lot of height issues because Oda was drawing manga. He didn't have to think about anything. So, I mean, some characters aren't giants, but they're like 7.5 feet tall. And then some people, it just, sizes are very, very varied and very strange in One Piece. And that was something I was worried about for the live action. Like, they're going to have to make all the humans basically human size instead of the humans that some humans are bigger and some humans are smaller. But when it comes to like Little Garden or Enies Lobby or anything, they got to do a really good job with those giants.
Yeah. Like, I don't have a problem with scale because I grew up with the G1 Transformers show, and that's the most crack smoking scale of anything ever. If you've ever watched that show, especially when it got to like when they ran out of money and they lost some money on the original animated movie, they went to season 3, and then they got some like knockoff people to animate that season, and it was just, oh my goodness. But hey, we've got two of my other favoritist people in the back. We have my brother, Senior Iron Oxide, and his lovely wife, Selena Redwine.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Hey.
All right, and yourself?
Super.
Good.
So, Jack, you liked getting slipped into the Monty Python meme?
That was fucking beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I love it because I didn't want to draw a lot of attention to myself anyway, because I didn't want it to seem like I was fucking clout chasing or anything like that.
I kind of wanted to play to your personality.
So like there was someone did a highlights reel. Their name is Room 5 on Twitter. I'm going to shout them out right now. So Room 5 on Twitter, they did a whole bunch of pictures or like photographs, and they did like a highlights reel of some, you know, stuff that went on at the meetup, and I'm there like a very like a few milliseconds. I'm there for a few milliseconds, and it was just perfect. It was perfect amount of time to be on screen for, and then let the rest of them fucking have it.
That's the one.
And the drunk tweets were.
They were
glorious. It was hilarious, man.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, your drunk treats. See, I'm drunk. No, I'm just kidding. If I was drunk, I'd be out. Yeah, no.
It's not very often I get drunk. Twitter. Yeah, it's not very often I get drunk, but I thought to myself, and I mean, honestly, that is the first time that I've had a drink in months. I really just don't drink. So, but I thought to myself, like surprisingly, I took money with me. And I thought to myself, I'm just going to burn through all of this in no time. But luckily, we ended up doing a whole bunch of free things. And the majority of the money was spent on tubes and beer and food. So that's about that's about the extent of my expenses was the tube. And what's good about the tube is that you could just travel anywhere around I say you can travel anywhere around London because it's split into zones. It's capped, like, so if you just use your contactless card and you keep like tapping your contactless card, people think you have to use an Oyster card, you have to go and buy a travel card. You don't. Just get your contactless debit card and you can slap it on the card reader, and it's capped at a certain amount, so it's like £15 for the entire day, depending on how far around London you go, basically what zones you go to. So yeah, that was my travel, and it's so convenient as well. But the problem is, it was so sweltering by the end of the day. First thing in the morning, the tubes are absolutely fine. Like last thing at night, they are sweltering hot, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because you know how there's a breeze whenever a tube train comes in, or if you've been to an underground station, there's always a breeze as a train comes in. And not even that is a savior. That's just like a blast of hot air. Like you can't breathe. Like when you feel sick because the air is so thick and hot, and then it blasts a gust of even hot air into your face. Yeah.
I got to admit, I got a kick out of all their tweets saying they were expecting like this mild temperature British holiday, and they're all like, "What the
hell? Why did Texas come to London?"
X-Ray girl too, especially. She's like, "What in the world?"
And her and Quarterblock Garrett were the most complaining about it. It was I got tickled by that. I got to admit.
So Garrett was telling me, he said that when he got on he'd been praying for fucking rain for weeks up until the leaving, right? As soon as he gets on the plane, he can hear the rain spattering on the fuselage of the plane. He can hear the rain.
Right as he's leaving Texas, and it's like,
and he lands here in the UK right at the very beginning of a heat wave, so there's just no winning for him. And like, although Gary did correct me slightly when I checked, it was hotter in Texas the other morning. It was hotter here in the UK than it was in Texas the other morning.
Wow. Yeah,
but
and you don't have air conditioners there, right? I'd lose it. There's no way.
Well, yeah, so we don't have them installed in the house because we don't need them. Like the rarity of a heat wave is like, it just doesn't warrant having an air conditioner in your house. You can have just like a desk fan or something like that. It just really does. The weather really doesn't warrant having anything like that installed as standard in an apartment or home.
Yeah, I don't. My air conditioner was messed up a couple of weeks ago, and it was like 2 a.m. It was 83 degrees. I was just like, oh God.
Yeah, and growing up in the Nevada desert, I can't even picture that.
So, just first of all, I just want to clarify something. This isn't like I
think that's a dog.
Sorry.
I wish to believe it's Selena.
It's actually a full moon, and I forgot to lock her ass up.
Exactly.
So.
Anyway,
you wondered why a hot girl like that got with me. There's just things I'll deal with. So
I got you.
Don't lie. You're a werewolf as well. That's how you met. You met in the woods. You woke up naked next to one another one morning.
We were running naked through the moonlight.
But no, I'll clarify one thing first. So I promised you the exclusive on all this stuff. I've not spoken about it anywhere else, but I just want to make clear this isn't like an expose on them or anything like that. I've got literally nothing bad, no bad words to say about any single one of them. Anything that comes out here is stuff that I know that they would not have an issue with me talking about or anything like that. And what's more is that I've got nothing bad to say about them anyway, because everything that you see on stream is them in real life. Yep. There is no difference. Anything that you see them on the TV screen, it is just like in real life, except they're there in front of you.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Exactly.
So it's not an expose or any kind of gotcha or anything like that.
Garrett's drunker in real life, though, isn't he?
Actually, he held out quite well, surprisingly. The end of the actual meetup night, he was far worse off than any other night that I was with him. So, yeah, I mean, he does like a drink, though. And I was surprised by Disbrew as well. He knocks back the whiskies. He does just whiskey on the rocks all night. He was.
Well, I heard lesbians like to drink a lot of whiskey.
And people have been saying online that he's got legs, that it's been confirmed that people have seen that he's got legs. It's not true. I'm totally telling you right now.
It's
We
worse
spent-
CGI than She-Hulk.
He floats
It wasn't
around on a
CGI.
disc like that.
It wasn't CGI.
He floats
We
around on
ha-
a
we
disc like that
spent-
creature in Quake 4.
We spent 4 hours getting him into them legs, having to lift him out of, and put him into the legs, strap them onto him. Yeah. And there was one guy, with the remote control, and he was like walking him around everywhere that he went, like he just staying in the back, and he was walking him around everywhere he went for the illusion. Because I mean, when we were eating dinner, he floats around like Moaning Myrtle. He's just got no legs, so he just floats around like. Yeah. So if anyone says that he's got legs, it's a fucking lie. We spent 4 hours getting him into those legs.
It's like when Frontlock
Did you not?
got those legs and
The one thing I will say to everyone in the chat who knows, who actually turned up to the meetup, did you not see him leaning everywhere? Everywhere he went, he was leaning on stuff like that. It wasn't because he was drunk, because he can knock them back and still stand. But yeah, it's because the bloke who was controlling his legs.
He's got mechanical legs. That's why he didn't fall over.
The bloke who was controlling his legs was getting a pint at those points, or he was talking with someone in the crowd or something.
I mean, honestly, if you had just told me his entire person was just an adorable creation from the Jim Henson studio, I'd have believed that as well. So,
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, dude, next thing we know, they're going to tell us he's a Krang.
the whole thing's a puppet.
I just thought about that episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force where Frylock Baltz got some mechanical legs to try to like hit on this girl.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. Even freaking Gary said he was like digging the One Piece. Might check out the anime, and I'm like,
he did say that earlier, yeah, and I'm glad he did. Everyone who I'm glad I got in on it early, because at least I can watch everybody else fall into line now and go, "This is fucking great." Like I was just before the show, I was in Adam Krigler's chat, and there was people in there going, "Oh, I can see." I've seen people saying that One Piece is at least bearable to watch, and it was like, motherfucker, it's not just bearable to watch; it is watchable. It is through and through a watchable program. I'm so glad that they've brought something nice and fresh and new out that I can enjoy.
Yeah, I'm hearing it's not just good. It's not just okay. Yeah, it's passable, because we just watched Twisted Metal last night. It's passable. It's good. We enjoyed it.
Twisted Metal is pretty.
Really, I'm about to do a video on it. It was got really not too much bad things to say, but to hear something that's actually better than just good, it's like what?
Yeah, we gotta get on watching that.
It was really cool. Also, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers said he think that McKenyu could actually play like Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes. And considering how obsessed with G.I. Joe he is and how obsessed he is with good casting, the fact that he was like, Zorro's badass. He could play. I was like, wow, that's like the biggest compliment you can get from Jeremy. Is that he could. Movies.
Yeah, it's like me saying somebody's passable to play Batman. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I mean, I think he's a great actor, and I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't actually expecting to see so much love and appreciation from One Piece normies.
Yeah, the freak.
I
didn't even think about that guy would be great as like Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes, man. That dude would be. If they could actually make, man, if they would just if somebody could actually just, that would be cool. If they would just do a legit G.I. Joe movie, man.
Yeah.
Not make it stupid, not have them run around in stupid suits and do a bunch of bullshit. Just make it like make it like the cartoon, except no, make it like the '80s comic. Something like that. That would be cool.
Yeah, it just require getting people like with this that actually
a real American hero. We can't say American is problematic. Speaking of which, I saw a trailer for a G.I. Joe game. It looked like a beat 'em up, like the Ninja Turtles game. It looked pretty good.
I saw that one.
Well, like a retro style game.
Yeah. It looks like the cartoon. It looks like the. I'll find a.
Nice.
Yeah, pull it up.
Let me find a trailer for it. I'll put it in there, and like if one of you guys share it, like we'll get some audio on it. Let's see. Oh God, what is the name of it? It's G.I. Joe. Oh God, it's something.
Let's see if I can find it.
It's the G.I. Joe game trailer. Let's see. Wrath of Cobra. There it is. All right. All right, and then in the private chat, somebody wants to share it. I'll put it in the thing because I can't do audio because I still use Firefox like 2004. Represent. That's why it won't. It doesn't work, man. I think that's why it's not going to work. But I can't. I refuse. I'm not.
Yeah, you
use
just gotta
Internet Explorer or whatever.
Conform to Google Chrome.
Fucking.
Hang on, I'm
You
just
want one of
trying to
us to
share
click
it.
on
now.
it and share?
Oh, it's all right. I've done it now.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless organization determined to rule the world. From the jungle to the storm we beat, through the desert and across the seas. Did the one answer the call? Win the battle, freedom for all. Super soldiers, land of the free. Like an eagle chasing out his prey. The hands of the try to get it. When the vicious Cobra strikes, our heroes are bent to the fight with strength. From the stars and strike. G.I. Joe, we love American hero. G.I. Joe, to deal with the madness of evil. Go Joe, take the press of the world, we come marching.
Okay, this is what I want to see, the gameplay.
Nice.
The only thing is that song is awful. And and at one point it looked like Cobra was defending G.I. Joe's base. They were standing out in front of it. Yeah, I'm a nerd.
Maybe they just occupied it or something.
Or some maybe that's what I was thinking.
They were
like
J-sticksing the G.I. Joe base.
Yeah,
So you really didn't like the song, no?
No. I would rather hear an updated version or the of the original. Here, let me show you how close it is. I'm going to pull up the
I didn't mind the song. I think it sounds very 80s or 90s.
It was
yeah.
I mean, I do agree with you, Selena. I think it was perfectly fine, and I think the reason is that it's different. It's probably through a licensing issue.
Probably,
Very possibly, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of the fucking Friday Night Tights theme tune. You know, the like Dan Vasc or how that the people who wrote that captured the whole like 80s vibe.
That freaking song, man! I was working out to that song when it came out. I was listening to it on a loop.
I love that song. Dan Vasc is the man.
Oh yeah. I sent him a message, but it was like right after it first came out, and he like doesn't know who I am or anything. But I was like, you should totally do the very famous One Piece songs. There's like 3 really, really famous songs for One Piece.
Tell him right.
If he does that, there's no way he can't be Gary. There's no way he can't be Gary if he does a One Piece song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should
message him do it now
because of how the popularity of it right now. I mean,
and I want him to win just because it'll be. I want Gary to sing. Gary's my hero, but I want him to sing.
It'll be terrible. It'll be terrible.
I tell you what, Tiny, I'll message him for you. I'll just say, here, Dan, my mate Tiny sent you a message how long ago was it? A few months ago.
a week ago, maybe.
Okay, me mate
You did-
sent
you
you a
did-
suggestion. Have a look at it because it's probably up your alley, like, you know. And he'll go, yeah, no problem, Jack. I'll take a look at it for you. Don't worry, buddy.
I watched.
Good to know that I know
watched it
people
this
who
morning.
have friends in high places.
And he also,
I don't know him.
You know, he sees so many messages from women
Yeah,
and girls
yeah.
too. He's probably just like, no, I do not want. No more,
I
no
sh-
more
I-
of
I-
the
alone, leave me
vagina
alone.
I
picture.
got him to respond to me a couple of times because I shamed him about the little kid weights that he was like, check out, and he's like posting pictures of his weights, and I'm just like, dude, that's little kid's bullshit.
Hang on a minute. Right. just 1 second. You can clip this next bit. Dan, have a look, right, for Tiny But Fierce's email to you or message, whatever it was, from like a week ago about the One Piece song, because it'll probably be down your alley. Now, whoever's out in the chat there, clip that and send it to him on Twitter. There you go.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Hey, check this out, man. Hey, Jack, share that or one of you guys share that link I put in the private chat. One of these days, I'm gonna upgrade and not have to rely on
The kindness
crew.
of
Right,
strangers.
here we go.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you
I
guys.
honestly have no idea how to do it, so that would be all on
I'm
you
doing
guys.
it. Don't worry. Real American hero.
This is what I would like to hear, man.
Wherever there's trouble, G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra and Destro.
See, they're standing
I
outside.
don't know, man.
He never gives up. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the
He
world.
never gives up. He'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe, G.I.
G.I. Jose.
those
I honestly, that's good, but I still dig the other one because I love 80s music. So yeah.
I think
Yeah,
if
that
they
one
would've
was
just
way gay, mate.
Yeah,
If they
well,
would have just incorporated that chorus from the old
Yeah,
song.
that's
into
what
it,
that would be great.
dun, dun, dun,
or you
that
can
would've
just,
solved
you
all the
just metal
problems.
it up a little bit, man.
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, because that one was a bit like, you know.
I bet, but they were standing outside of it looked like the
Brotherhood of
Joe's
Man, that
face in
was.
the intro too, so that didn't make any sense, man. I guess they had taken it over then for some. I like how they were fighting. You know, it was back in that cartoon, man. Like nobody ever died, and their aim was terrible. I mean, even worse than stormtroopers. But they always had like snake theme shit, and it was like one time I had it was Toy Fair magazine. It was done by those people like Wizard magazine, the comic thing, and they had like Cobra Commander was looking at his budget, and he was like $3-something billion for giant snake themed fortress out in the woods. It was like all of this stuff that he had to do. And then he had a file card that said Crystal Ball, and it had this guy, and it was talking about he uses all of this stuff, and he had like a little post-it note that said "Fire this moron." It was something like, it was hilarious. It was like he was looking at. It was like his budget for everything. Like they had snake themed robots and all that stuff. I'm just like, my God, how much money have you spent making all of this crap, dude? When you could, like, I don't know, formulate a plan to take over. You know, what's funny is they had the Cobra insurance thing, and then this dude I know one time when he was at work, he stood up. He's like, "Does anybody know what Cobra is?" And this one guy stood up. They were having like a meeting. And this one guy stood up and goes, "It's a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world," like in the middle of their insurance meeting. I was like, that was awesome. I was like, I might risk a job just to say that one time. It'd be epic.
Maybe instead of doing another movie, they should just do a sitcom. Get like the writers from Seinfeld involved.
Or just if they could do like a decent, like an animated series or something.
Yeah,
they've had a couple of them, but like
yeah, those have actually been really good.
If they
There's
make
one
it
from the early mid 2000s that was pretty solid.
If they just
I think that's Renegades.
Yep.
Yeah, if
That's
they would
exactly
take the 80s comic that Larry Hama did and adopt that that comic was hardcore, dude. It wasn't anything like the cartoon, man. It was like people getting killed left and right.
Yeah, it'd be a hard R. I mean,
yeah, at one point, like Cobra Commander took his son and everybody else that betrayed him, threw him in like there was a beached, like it was like a tanker, like an oil tanker, and he put them all in the cargo hold of that tanker and poured a bunch of gas in there and set them all on fire. It was his own kid that was in there too. He was just like, he's got
the
revenge.
Closest thing we've had to that's like the Expendables, really.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. Yeah.
But oh god, and Snake Eyes origin from the original comic.
Oh, dude, it's so hardcore.
Dude's got third-degree burns and it's still just killing fuckers left and right.
Yeah, he is. He's always funny because like Scarlet was Snake Eyes chick, man. It was like in the cartoon they always had it like Duke. Yeah.
I always thought Snake Eyes was her mentor.
No, they were like they were kind of hooking up, man, in the cartoon. I mean, in the comic, if I'm not mistaken.
So Vince shared a link to a metal version of the G.I. Joe theme tune. Would you like me to share it?
Sure.
Nice.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I haven't vetted this yet, so here we go.
Vince is good people. I'm sure it's fine.
Ready?
Is that the one from G.I. Joe the movie?
Yeah, I think so. Here we go.
Wait, here's a dude. Okay, it's a dude playing it. I thought it was a whole band, not just some dude playing it with the guitar.
All right, that's enough.
Yes, thank you. I'm cringe. It's all right.
He's killing that rhythm line though.
Yeah. It was
Solid.
cool.
Now, out of all the old cartoon theme songs, you gotta admit the one that fucking lit it up the most was X-Men.
Oh, that. I like the Ninja Turtles, man. To be honest, I like the Ninja Turtles was pretty fucking.
That was
rad
written
too.
by the dude who created Big Bang Theory.
The Ninja Turtles theme.
The Ninja Turtles theme song. Yep. Something Laurie.
Yeah, Chuck Lorre.
Somebody should
Chuck
have.
Lorre. Yep. He wrote and composed that song.
At least he did one thing.
Big Bang was meh.
I can't watch the Big Bang.
Yeah, I love the
tried
Ninja
watching.
Turtles theme tune. Go, Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
They're gonna have shell. Turtle power.
Hey man, that arcade game, man, I thought the arcade game was the greatest thing ever because when you stop playing, the turtle would like turn and look at you and he would start and he would blink his eyes. I always thought that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm easily
I
amused.
really like when they add those things into games. You know, it wakes the player up. Like Mario would fall to sleep, Sonic would turn to the screen and he would
Start
tap
doing
his
this.
foot and like tapping his watch, and tapping his foot. It's like, you know, what we're fucking waiting for, lads. Let's go already. This is a timed level.
Yeah, and then in Borderlands 2, the guy would be like, "Oh, this is fun. I love it. Just standing here. It's
Duke
great.
Nukem would crack his knuckles and
Oh,
go,
he
"Come
would.
on."
Yeah. Shake it, baby.
Yeah,
I love that. I'm telling you, I swear the original game, he would go to the strip club and break out a $1 bill.
he could
I
give
could
it
have
to the
sworn,
girl.
yeah, I thought it was $1, but I went back and watched the video and it was $100. And I'm just like, man, I remember this being $1. That's why it was so funny to me, because it was just, he'd go to a strip club and be like, shake it, baby.
$1.
He'd whip out $1, and it was like, you'd see pixelated boobs. It was great.
I was gonna say, with the graphics quality from the original, it'd be really hard to differentiate a $1 from $100 bill.
Zoom in on those pixels.
or a butt cheek from a tit.
Right. They're all square, so who knows? But we were 14 and it was awesome.
There was a
Well,
dot.
I mean,
there was a dot in the middle of the pixelated boob for the nipple.
Yeah,
man.
it was
no, it was
material
a
that I
dot.
kept
It was a
in my
square.
wank
It was in
bank.
the middle of a square.
It was material I kept in my wank bank for a very long time, at least into my late teens. And then I had real memories of real boobs by then, not just
good for
pixelated
you.
boobs.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Hey, hell the little. You know what? I didn't say everything. Hey to the chat. I'm sorry. I'm not as sophisticated as Jesse, but we could do that now.
Let's go through some of these guys.
Yeah. Hey, let's go. Vince, what's up? And Christian Delorme. I can pronounce your last name.
It's Delorme. Delorme.
Really?
Delorme.
He's not
Christian
Italian.
Delorme.
Jesse calls him Delorme or something like that.
Delorme.
Diesel is not cheap in Canada. I'm not cheap anywhere. Chrysanth, what's up, yo?
Hey,
And we have this person. I've met them before, I think.
I have no idea
I know
who that
her.
is.
I know that girl.
I think I know her too. And
Hey, that's me.
No, that's me.
No, I do know him.
yeah, I've heard of them somewhere.
That's him, officer. That's him there, the ugly bastard. Oh no, that's Hale.
It's Hale. And I think I know that guy too.
I don't. Fuck that guy.
Good old Wusty.
Yeah, Delamore. That's what Jesse calls him, Delamore. Jesse also, I remember the first time Jesse did a video on One Piece or something, maybe a month or two ago. He kept calling him Luffy, and then some in the comments were just like, every time this dude said Luffy's name wrong, it was like I was ready to die.
Well, at least he understands how it's supposed to be said. Some totally non-anime, non-manga, non-anything geek type person, like a normal movie person, was trying to do a critique of it, and he couldn't understand that even in the English dubbed, we use the Japanese name form. So Monkey D. Luffy, his first name is Luffy. He kept calling him Monkey. Like for a 15-minute review, he kept saying, Monkey did this and Monkey did that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to wring your neck. It drove me so crazy.
I'm not.
Charlatans.
Charlatans.
Well, it wouldn't take me more than 5 minutes to do a quick video search to just see what other people are saying or how the names should be pronounced or anything. It just felt lazy and obnoxious to me personally.
It's almost like the nuke. It's like what's that meme? Hi there, fellow school. High schoolers or whatever it is.
He's walking in with a skateboard in the backwards.
Yeah. It's like that. And then they thought that they were being cool by I'm going to call them Monkey because surely that's their first name. So I'm just going to seem really cool and to anyone who. I mean, even me, I don't really know the show. I've just been introduced to it, but just from watching the TV show, everyone in the anime calls him Luffy. They don't call him Monkey.
Exactly.
He calls himself Monkey D. Luffy.
Thank God Luffy wasn't black.
And Rowan Noah Zorro. His first name is
Or
Zorro.
a fat woman as well. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know. Like
This is on Netflix.
Flash called Zorro. He called him something stupid in one of his videos today. It was funny. I was like, dang. And Flash doesn't know a lot about One Piece either, but he said he's starting to watch the anime. But he called Zorro something. Zura, something. It was something weird, and I was like, "What's he talking?"
Well, there's also there's one small problem with Zorro, which is there was a problem with the translations for the 4Kids dub that then Viz Media took to do for when they started writing out the manga in English. So some people for a long time were calling him Zolo because there was an issue between the L and the R.
Zolo.
So they're like, no, Zolo. And a lot of people talk about Zolo, and it's like, no. That was a mistake in translation.
But it is kind of the sound that you make when you, because I can't do it properly, but it is like a mixture between an L and an R.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot of practice to get it right.
Yeah, but it was just he was named Zorro after the old black and white California hero, and it was just very funny because no one who knew that history had any problem saying Zolo, and so you end up with people online going, "Who the hell are you talking about?"
Maybe it was Zolo that he said. Maybe that was maybe
yeah, that could have been
so
it.
deep that like it made it seem like
that's what he knew first.
Yeah, maybe he did. I know because like when I watched Bleach, I kept thinking, it say Uryu, but it's Uryu, like Uryu. It's like Uryu. A lot of the translation is like the R's and D's are mixed up, or like they sound the same, or like it sounds like D. It's more than likely an R, depending on who's translating it.
Yeah.
The most Japanese I know is the lyrics to Baka Mitai, and that's it.
I know. Hi.
My brother became pretty much fluent in Japanese while he was in the Marines, and then when he'd come home and we'd watch anime like the nerds we were, he was so fucking annoying. It was just correcting all of us all the time. We couldn't like, John, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know, right?
So we'd start purposely mispronouncing shit and like just to try and give him shit.
Fun.
Yeah, that's what Marty Friedman's been doing since he left Megadeth, man. He's been living in Japan.
Smart.
Which is pretty, and playing and stuff. Like he can basically go. He's been doing his own.
He turned into a passport, bro.
A passport, bro. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's
like, man, they love their metal in Japan.
Hell yeah, they do, man. That's why they love Marty Friedman. He's just been over there doing metal for forever and stuff like that. And he's just like, yeah, I'm not coming.
I was thinking about becoming a passport, bro. You know, going to America and marrying one of those. Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face.
Dude, all you got to do out here is
you need a green card
any bar and order a drink as loud as you can, and you'll be drowning in it. Where are you from? Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. I know I'd have no problem
none whatsoever
pulling as they'd literally be frothing at the gash, mate.
Yeah, I had an ugly friend from New Zealand. No problems whatsoever. He was fine.
That's what this girl.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks for that. Affirmation.
Hey, you're drawing it into that. I'm just saying how ridiculous far the accents go. Yeah, I mean, just saying.
I mean, accents are good, but they're not that good.
Yeah, it's not the be all and end all. But if you're a Tebow or Teaboo, you know, then I guess it is, you know. So no shortness of fanny, as they say. Of course, fanny means something different over here.
Wasn't that the subplot in Love Actually? Like there was a young British dude who wants to go to America because he's convinced everyone will love him for his accent, and in the end, he's
totally right.
Yeah,
he was 100% right.
Yep, it's going to happen one day. I'm led to believe also that the vaccine mandate has come down over there as well, so people from outside of the US can now come into the US without needing a vaccine. So,
God, I hope
yay,
so.
because that means I can come over to the States now.
Yep.
You
Just do it
should.
before November of 2024. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I think it's going to be a lot sooner than that, mate. I'm predicting that today, or I should say tomorrow, because it is tomorrow, but it's today. It's the 12th for me today.
Mhm.
So, or now, and so there is a rumor that things are going to start moving forward with the sort of exposure and the lockdowns, etc. So from today or from tomorrow, that's when the
Sorry.
whole new pandemic is going to start.
That's been the guess, actually. People have been saying, sorry guys, close to the middle of this month. So we shall see.
Hmm. I don't know whether we can talk about it though, because like you know,
Yeah.
Well, I thought we were talking about accents, man, because I dated this girl who moved to Alabama from England, right? And she had a half English and then part redneck accent. It was funny. She would say like things like, and then like no, like English accent, and then she would say stuff like "ain't," and it would be like it was weird.
yeah, but I mean, like Cockneys say "ain't" a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But this was Alabama.
Where was her
ain't.
from?
This was
Yeah,
Alabama.
where was she from in the UK?
England.
Good.
I'm
so glad you clarified that for me, because that makes it so much
She's
easier
like
to pin
England.
down a fucking accent.
Maybe London. I don't know. Maybe Birmingham. Maybe fucking I don't know. This
Just
is a long
England.
time. It was
You literally have to drive 10 minutes down the road and you hear a different accent. So
I don't know, man. This was a long time ago, and I've been trying to block it out of my head because that's somebody I messed it up with, man. But like, she was like, "Yeah, you could go over to England and you just be all the girls just because you know, especially with your southern accent." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Really?" Yeah.
Maybe with the southern
Totally.
accent, I wouldn't think American accents would go over well anywhere. Kind of.
yeah, like you know, right. So here's a question for Americans, since I assume you're all American here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Polish.
has anyone seen the film Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy? Right.
Of course. Yeah.
So you know that posh accent that the sort of yuppie guys seem to have, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is that? What is that accent known as?
Ivy
I think
League.
it's actually or New Englander. It's more of an
Yeah.
East Coast
It's more of an
elite
East Coast thing, but also
accent.
I know people who didn't sound quite like that, and then they went to Yale and Harvard, and they came out sounding a lot like that. So I call it Ivy League.
Ivy League
It's
accent.
this-
Yeah,
Ivy
Or-
League accent.
They-
Okay.
they call it Underjaw in Family Guy. Like,
It
Well,
literally,
or what? The Thurston Howell III accent.
yeah.
it seems to go all the way back to like Victorian era, when the idea of ennui and boredom was a sign of status and wealth, and this idea that like you've tried everything, you've done everything is boring to you. This is you're above everybody. Just continued on, and it continued on in a lot of the realms of higher education as a way of just a mannerism that they use. But it's this, yeah, they all like to get bored by everything.
That's how I feel about porn on the internet. I've completed it all now, and so
I've gotten to the end of it, dude.
Yeah.
Did you get
left.
Did you get yeeted off Twitter again? Hell, did you get yeeted off Twitter again?
He is a little bit risque, but I mean, I don't blame him for some of the things that he says. You know, it's just that Twitter's a pussy ass fucking place where apparently you can't say whatever you
certain
like.
things or give unsolicited medical advice.
I know old Camelot got
yeeted, yeah.
He's already got a new one with a
With a
fake
mustache
nose and
and
mustache.
glasses. It's like, stupid ass is so funny. It's the same picture, just put a mustache and glasses on the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's in disguise.
It's like me. I'm in disguise. No one would ever know that this was me if ever they saw me. I peel this off of a night time.
In the
But
shoot,
yeah.
you got an accent just like Diesel's over here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm hitting the sack, guys. Good night.
All right, we'll
Would
see
you
ya.
would you like to hear my real voice and not my British voice, the one that I
Yeah.
put on?
Let's hear it.
Okay, here it goes. I've been smoking for 60 years, and this is my real voice. I sound like an old Jew.
You're not so far off, actually. I knew some
I was
old guys in Brooklyn who sounded a lot like that.
I was about to say,
Mazel
let's
tov.
ask our expert here what she thinks about it. I thought it's
I was thinking the guy from Curb Your Enthusiasm, the Seinfeld creator, Larry David. Is what that
take the
reminded me.
pen.
What are we doing here?
Come on.
We actually were in we got stuck in this guy's like his boat out in the middle of the lake one time, and like it died, and we had like one paddle, and we had to paddle it way over to some dude to
With one
like,
paddle.
One paddle. I was hanging over the edge. It was a ski boat, dude. I had to paddle a ski boat from the middle of the thing and like hang over.
How did you not just go in a big circle over and over and over and over?
Because you got to paddle to one side. You had to hang off.
And then you got to go over the other side, and then you got to paddle a bit more, and you sort of like weaving in and out like this.
Like that. Anyway, after like a hunt, like 4 hours later, we paddled to the land and got to this guy's house and knocked on the door because like we were stranded right in the middle, and it was like completely on the other side of like anywhere close to like where we were, because like the way the lake is in the center of the state, it's like big blue area, and like on one side it's like miles away. It takes you like an hour or two to get from one side to the other, like on land, but not on the lake. Anyway, and we knocked on the door, and this dude comes to the door, and he's wearing like this smoking jacket like Hugh Hefner. And he's just like, I think he had like a pipe. And we opened it. He's like, hey,
you're not the horse I ordered.
No, and behind him, he had a liquor cabinet with like the name spelled out on the bottles, like whiskey, vodka, like in case you're so shit-faced drunk that you can see it from like miles away, but giant letters on these bottles and everything. And he happened to know my buddy's dad because he was like a superintendent or something years ago, and like he like gave us the keys to his car. He's like, take the car. And my buddy, it's funny because he was like, take the car. My buddy kept saying that, but like from the Seinfeld episode, because my friend had came down to like in the middle of bumfuck Alabama from Flushing, Queens, right? In the middle of Queens, Alabama, like we hung out and everything like that. And he kept saying, take the car, take the car. Because the guy was fucking drunk, and he gave us the keys. And I mean, he was an old piece of shit, but it was like, who in the hell would give 3 idiot teenagers who just happened to knock on his door, here, take the keys to my car? Who would do that? I guess a drunk guy wearing a smoking jacket, man.
I know
your dad. If you could get back on one paddle, you can probably drive.
Dude, that was me too. Those other two jerk offs didn't do. I did most of the paddling on that thing too. I paddled a ski boat.
You're still salty about it, Diesel. Does it still piss you off? Do you have arguments with them to this day in your head about it when you're trying to go to sleep?
No.
Fuck me, I would.
I hadn't seen the dude from New York in like probably, I don't know, it's been decades. And
just lying there, like punching the fucking mattress. Cunt, I should have paddled less. Should have made him paddle more.
No, there's other things that piss me off like that, dude. Trust me.
Just offering the air a fucking like invisible paddle. Here, you take it, you bastard. What am I doing? I'm trying to get to fucking sleep.
That's all right, man. That's okay, dude. It was good cardio.
It's been decades, and he texts you like, "Yeah, I don't have much to live, but I just wanted to tell you how much I cherished our friendship." Diesel's response: do you remember one paddle, motherfucker? One.
Neither one of them probably would.
Not a single one of them paddled, the bastards.
No, I think they paddled some. I did most of it because I was like, yeah. What this? That was a long time. When was it? It was like 90s shit, dude. Way back in the day.
Take the car.
Take the car. Take the car. Take the car. What are you doing giving 3 idiot teenagers that come paddling in on a ski? Hey, they got one paddle. They've got a paddle for like a 2-man canoe, and they took like a 10-person ski boat and paddled up in the middle of the lake.
Well, he may have thought you were robbing him.
So wait a minute. I'm at a loss. It was a ski boat.
Yep. Had one paddle in it.
Why did it have an oar?
I don't know, but I'm glad it did. Otherwise, we might still be out
Most of
in
them
that lake.
do if just in case like this situation if it breaks down. But most of the time they have two.
Most of the time, yeah, they would have two. We didn't have any. We didn't even have a stick we could use. It was one oar or one paddle. It wasn't an oar. An oar is a long thing. This was a little short paddle. That's why I was hanging off the nose of the damn boat, going back and forth in the front. That was a very long story, man. That went to. I was trying to. And I just totally bypassed the whole take the car bit, man. It was like
There's no one else
some
on the
kind of
paddle.
revenge story about an oar.
Anybody?
I mean, a paddle, not an oor, a paddle.
Does
You said it, that story just has so many jokes.
Layers.
Anybody else want a paddle?
Dude, man. Just diesel
Please,
story time.
guys.
I should tell you about
Did you hear something? No, I just Diesel at the front there is just paddling away happily. Anybody?
Sucked too because I know we were all chain
Please,
smoking at the time
over.
too, man. That wasn't good for you. I had to take a cigarette break from paddling. Smoke.
I just picture these two assholes sitting in the back drinking beer. You got it, buddy. Just keep on. Are you getting tired?
Nah, do the other side.
Have you not been working out, Diesel? This will get him going.
I probably didn't mind because the other guys had weed. So it was just like they smoked the weed, and it was like, "Oh, sure, man, I'll roll it." I would have been back in the day. Like, we got a joint, yeah. What do you do? I'll push this car up the hill. Okay, cool. Roll that joint. When I get back, by the time here, even though I'll be so winded, it was just like I won't even have a buzz. Things you do for drugs, kids.
Don't buy drugs, kids.
No.
Become famous, and they'll give them to you
For free. Yep.
And if you're
That's
going to do
harking back to
anything,
Love Actually,
paddling
sorry.
a ski boat is the least worst thing you can
that is
do.
not fun either, paddling a ski boat. It was just, I'm telling you though, it was pretty remarkable. We didn't take turns, I think. We didn't take turns. I think I did most of it. But
Anyway,
so
One Piece.
yes.
Great show. I suggest that people watch it. One thing that I wanted to sort of bring up about it was like a lot of leftists or leftist posts regarding it. I've seen people turning around and saying, wait until people on the right start having a fit because they find out that Kobe's a transgender man. And it's like, right, listen, guys, I'm sorry, but I knew that this was a girl that was a guy. Okay. Like, I didn't need to be told that this was a girl because they look like a girl.
Mm-hmm.
No, Kobe isn't a girl, but the point is that Kobe is such a weedy little man that they needed the girliest possible person to play the boy.
So they got a
But they got a chick to play.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at Kobe, yeah, and you know that they're a transgender man. You know that they were a girl, and now that they are a man.
Well,
You could tell that.
the character's supposed to get really buff and hot and sexy and powerful eventually. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it.
Well,
sounds like
I'll be right back.
It sounds like an Alabama thing.
Are they making uncle brothers
Attacking each other.
or sister wives?
They're attacking each other. Hey man, like this is not like there was a wedding. I think it was like a cousin of mine or something, man, and there was a dog fight in the middle of the wedding. I didn't go to this wedding, and but I was told that like I was given the description of this redneck wedding. There was a dog fight in the middle of the wedding. And I think somebody was wearing one of those tuxedo T-shirts. The shirt that's like not really a tuxedo because let's just play right into the stereotype while we're at it. So let's just do that thing.
And it's a shame that you wasn't invited as well because you were related to everybody there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Statistically, being from Alabama.
Statistically, I'm related to the whole tri-state area. Did you see me? Did you see me get Jess the other night? That shit I said.
What did you say, man? I was so busy for like 3 nights straight. I was so busy, so I didn't get to see Jess's stream this week.
No, Jess, on the stream you were on Friday. When dude would start talking about Alabama, and I'm like, hey, you shut the fuck up about Alabama. And then she was like, she highlighted the thing and was like, it looks like Diesel takes offense. And then I could see when she read what I said next, because she just busted out laughing and started covering her face. And I was just like, no, I'm just kidding. There's incest for days around here, man.
It's true though.
Yeah, it is true.
It's true.
Might as well play to your, play your I'll wait for these two to get back before I show this thing, man. It's him. Stupid ass handbag putting shit on
I'm
Twitter.
sorry. I didn't even know my microphone was on, and like I looked down and he starts grabbing her. Yeah, they got into a fight.
Yeah, well, I had 2 little dogs. I had fighting. They start fighting over food, man. I had one of them like rip the dogs rip apart his neck, dude. And I'm like, it's a good thing it's a human because it tore like the skin. Yeah. And if it was a human and you tore your skin,
that would have been
out. But dogs have like skin. I mean, they're like it's different. So I was able to
Is it on Twitter?
Yeah.
Diesel. Oh, okay.
Here, I'll
Iron's coming back so you can show it.
Okay.
You're going to share it in the private chat?
I can share it. It's no sound on it. I can.
Oh, okay.
Oh no!
Stupid ass.
That's funny.
Brilliant. That's beautiful.
That works. Oh man.
I wish we could. I wish
there's a few good ones.
What the?
Some of these are brilliant.
Oh man.
Well, they're all brilliant, I should say.
Oh God.
Wow.
Thanks, and thank you so much.
Hey, Diesel, doesn't your Twitter give you a fucking headache looking at it?
What, like the Inception style when I pull it up on the screen?
No, I mean because you have it in light mode. I have mine in dark mode, completely pitch black mode, not even grey mode. If you go into the settings of it, you can down below there. You can choose the display and shit.
I'm sure I could.
I'm
just going to continue to keep it in light mode just so you'll say something every time.
Just because it's more, I'm just saying it's more screen friendly to the people watching at home. That's all. So if they're watching late at night and they're falling to sleep to us, you don't suddenly blind them by filling their room.
I want to wake them up.
Filling their room with bright white light.
See, I think that's the reason MSK refuses to do it too. He knows it's annoying, and he's been called out on it so many times. Like, no, at this point, no.
I like light mode. I'm sure everybody else is dying from it. I'm sorry. I know Tiny's like, oh my God, my eyes.
No, I wanted actually to send you something because we were talking about the accents before. Hold on, see if I can make this work. So I click on it and then I hit present. Is that right?
Yeah. Hit present and then share screen and then share screen and then select window or screen or whatever.
Hold on. Let's see. Present. Share screen.
That monkey.
That's great.
That was funny. The monkey.
I think that's my favorite.
That's my favorite too. The monkey. Damn it, and back, you son
Okay,
of a-
this is a really, at least I think he's really funny. This is a really funny new VTuber I found.
Hi, Tonkatsu Sinclair here with a little public service message for you. If you're seeing this video, it means someone doesn't like something you like, and you got buttery about it.
It's
Here's some
Dr.
hemorrhoid
Mrs.
cream,
the
apply it
Monarch.
to your anus, and sit down here with Auntie Katsu. Not too fast, so don't hurt your butt. I'm gonna tell you a magical little secret that's gonna make your life
Yeah,
so
this
much
is
easier just because
waifu
someone doesn't like your
something.
favorite.
Yeah, he was talking about being being an anime waifu and how hard it is, and like, but with his voice, it's hilarious. He's just really.
He
funny.
is. What's his name? It's waifu
Doctor,
something.
like Dr. Girlfriend.
I
Yep.
remember the channel's Absolute Unit. That's what
Absolute
he's
Won-
known
this
for, but
won
everyone
me
else
over in
is-
2 seconds. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, he's yeah. I've seen it before, and I've like sat there and watched some of his live streams like a couple of times when there's been nothing else on, and just listening to him prattle on.
Yeah,
It's hypnotic. Like you get
It's that guy's
sucked
voice,
into
and
it.
he's got this damn girly avatar.
yeah. So no, and it's really funny. He's got a skit where he says like, "You all seem to think there's a problem with my voice. There's no problem with my voice. This is just because I'm doing English dubs. When I speak my traditional Japanese, then all of a sudden you can."
You think there's a problem with my voice?
Yeah, exactly. And his avatar has the full on jiggle mod, so like he'll be bouncing and talking, and it's just that voice coming out of that image is just so much fun.
It's Dr.
That's
Girlfriend.
Oh,
We
man.
see the Dr. Vinci over here. It's Dr. Girlfriend.
That's one of our Halloween ideas. Has always been Henchman 21 and Dr. Mrs. the Monarch, or Dr. Girlfriend, same one. You have to get a voice modulator.
Yeah,
Right.
I would have to. That I can't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your voice
Diesel.
is so raw from trying to make that sound.
Oh, I know, right?
Yep.
In light mode. That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah, someone else sent something else. Isn't that the guy from Depeche Mode?
Is that the guy from Depeche Mode?
Oh man, I still haven't watched the new movie that came out.
I haven't watched it. I haven't seen the last few seasons of it. I watched it.
Oh my god, you got to! It gets
I know,
nothing
I'm
but
gonna
better.
get
It
around to
never
watch it.
drops the hat, in my opinion. That show's
Hey,
brilliant. Straight
What's up,
through.
Maria? What's going on?
Hey, Maria.
I love the yours is the sword of Michael, the Scooby Doo one when they're in the back. And it's just please, dude, just say something. Yours is not the voice. Yours is the sword of Michael. He comes talking to him. It's so bad. Bet you would for a groovy snack.
Mm. It's goddamn fucking antipsychotics.
Antipsychotics. Yeah, he's got the antipsychotics.
Oh man. Yeah, I can't even pinpoint my favorite just instance from that show. The whole thing is just so good. Oh man.
Oh, hang on.
Here it is. Yours is the field of blood. Yours is the sword of Michael.
If you found that clip, I'll share it.
Bet you would for a groovy snack. He does it. I figured that's what it was. It was a bottle of antipsychotics.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah.
And just that kind of humor and everything. It's we don't get that anymore. It's so sad.
It's so dark, dude.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I've been refusing to even read any reviews.
Hey, Groove, please just say something. He's in the back shaking.
I think as far as the side characters, though, Action Johnny's my favorite because he keeps like teeter-tottering. He gets sober for a while and then he goes off the edge again.
God, it's been so long since I've seen that.
He's the Johnny Quest parody.
Oh yeah. Action Johnny. That's right. It's been so long since I've seen that. I used to watch some Venture Brothers for a while, man.
That's one. If I can start on episode 1 and I can't stop. I just have to go all the way straight through, which I might have to do before I watch the movie.
I feel you.
How this whole thing ends.
I feel you, Maria. I feel you.
Yeah, I have plenty of wasteful days where I don't feel like doing anything. Procrastination is a bitch. But, you know, sometimes I like thinking about stuff.
Yeah, I have endlessly made plans to start my channel and make a video.
Yeah, I mean, like, genuinely, I sit... Sorry, what was that, Selena?
Oh, no, I just said the best I've done so far with my channel is make a banner, and that's as far as it's got.
And, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that either, and I keep telling myself, don't put too much pressure on yourself. You've got a life to live as well. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You know, it takes a long time to edit videos and it takes a long time to put assets together. And especially when you're doing it all by yourself, you could outreach, you know, or outsource some of the work to some other people. There are lots of people who even in this chat, you know, might be able to help you out with certain things, but it's a matter of cost. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to take things from people for free. You want to give them money for their hard work. And so, you know, it's a matter of cost. It's a matter of time. And I guess, you know, I've been working on things very, very, very slowly. And a lot of it is taken up by just thinking about it. Like, how am I planning this? You know, like actually planning it out in my head before you finally commit to it and go, right, get on it, start fucking doing something. You've thought about it 20 times now. It's time to actually do something. So yeah, don't worry if you've had a wasteful day.
Yeah. And with a lot of stuff like this, it's like there's such a small window, especially if it's like the current topic of interest. And all right, I'm gonna make the video. Then I make it. I don't like the way it is. I remake it a few times and I start the editing and trying to splice things in. And then it's like 2 weeks later and nobody gives a fuck about the thing you were talking about anyway.
Precisely.
Yeah.
One of the problems I have is with writing. Like not necessarily with writing, with editing. Like I'll go through it and I'll go through it and I'll go through it and I'll edit it so much that it takes away from the original sort of like the sort of theme of the message or the attitude of the message that I wanted to portray. And it, you know, you've over edited it at that point, and that's what I find. And like you say, then by the time you finished it, the thing that everyone was talking about, no one's talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't, though. Like Count Dankula comes onto the playing field like really late with some things sometimes.
Yeah, but he has such a big following that they're willing to let it pass.
I think everyone would be willing to let it pass. I don't think it matters how big your following is. If your following know who you are and they're following you because they like your content and they, you know, that they're subscribing to you basically. And so I think sometimes like the newcomers or the passers-by, but the ones who stick with you, those are the ones who matter the most, I guess.
Yeah, and also if you're doing this, like at least for me, it's just a hobby. This is just for fun, just because. Just something to do, so that helps. But I also don't want to be an asshole.
Did you guys hear Sebby describing One Piece on her Wanda Down Wednesday the other day? She started. So what you're saying is these people are like cooking things?
Oh God, yeah.
It was like I was sitting there like, oh. Did you see my face? I was like covering my face. Like, what the hell are you talking about? It is.
She kept. Oh, was this you guys last week?
Yeah, it was last Wednesday.
Sevi came in a bit late, and we were talking about what happened at Baratier, which is one of the episodes in the live action. And it happens to take place, that particular episode takes place at a floating restaurant called Baratier. So there's a bunch of chefs. So we were talking about the chefs that kick ass, because a lot of them from old pirate crews and stuff. But so Sevi got confused and thought that was the whole show, was pirates who cook.
Kept talking about it.
And she said, "What? Wait, he's rubber and he's a chef?" And I'm like, no. The chef and the rubber boy are different.
Here's what it was. It was like this.
Yeah, Rubber Boy is the sort of eater of the food. All of the food is cooked by somebody else.
This is and here's this. It was just
actually okay. It's sort of a spoiler, but not really, because anyone who's watched any of it would understand this. But there's a really, really famous line that happens like 1,000 episodes in, but where someone tells Luffy that he needs him to do something in a certain way so that he'll be the hero. And he goes, "I don't want to be a hero." And everyone kind of just looks at him and goes, "Heroes are great. I got nothing against heroes. But if you have meat and you're a hero, you have to share the meat. I want meat for me, my meat." I'm a pirate, not a hero. It's just
but hearing her attempt to get into the conversation was like one of the funniest and painful things ever. I know you had to have been like when
I had to turn off the
when
whole-
Rogue from the X-Men touches somebody and they start to die, and all the veins and stuff, the black shit comes up on her.
Mostly I was laughing. I was trying to figure out, how do I just explain this to her without like going into
So it's
20 minutes
like a bunch of people cooking on pirates. I was just like, oh my God, that was funny. Thank you, Anvac, for reminding me of that. And I still can't get that damn monkey paddling the canoe out of my head. Stupid ass.
So, Jack, you had said there were a couple things that you had a question about or you were confused about with One Piece. Did you want to talk about that?
Not necessarily that I was confused about, but I don't know whether it's because I haven't watched enough of the anime, but I liked the fact that in the show they arranged it so that Zorro was the one who cut the son of Axe Hand. I can't think of what his name is because it's such a long name.
Morgan, Captain Morgan.
Helmeppo, that was it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. So yeah, in the show he cuts his hair off, doesn't he? And then he's got to live with that stupid fucking haircut. But in the anime, it starts off with him like straight away
with a weird haircut.
With the stupid haircut, yeah.
And a lot of people were saying, like, when the first trailer went out and there was a little clip of Helmeppo with long hair, I was like, what the hell? How can Helmeppo have long hair? He's got to have that weird stupid haircut. And then later on, when he becomes stronger and more honorable and better, he gets long hair and he looks kind of slightly badass. He gets a really cool set of glasses that are weird but cool. But it was really funny. I think the whole idea was, in the anime, you have a lot more time to realize what a douche Helmeppo is, how unfeeling and how cruel and how obnoxious he is. Because you have the time to do that. In this, they didn't have the time to do that, so they showed him being an asshole, and then they just wanted to make him look like Helmeppo and make him embarrassed, I think is what it was.
There was no need to make Alvida black either.
I thought she's Hispanic, but whatever she is.
Whatever. There was she wasn't in the anime.
No, she's just really, really big in the anime. But
well, she's almost like a white, big fat white cowboy.
I thought she was. I didn't think she was black in the show. I thought she was. I'm not sure what I was thinking that she was like.
I don't know. I thought the actors had a good vibe of, I'm totally narcissistic and arrogant and controlling, which was the most important parts of Alvida, is that she's obsessed with the fact that she's the most beautiful woman in the East Blue, which is just ridiculous.
Right.
And actually, when you get onto the Grand Line and you see some people like Boa Hancock, the most beautiful woman in the world, the Pirate Empress, Alvida ain't got nothing.
Selena, you got to go.
Maybe she already left.
She may have.
I think she had to take the dogs because they were not. They were getting excited.
No worries, Selena. See you soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there are a lot of little changes that I don't think matter. A lot of little changes that could affect. I don't know.
It doesn't affect the sort of quality of the show overall. I'm just saying that I noticed an awful lot of Netflix sort of additions. You
Yeah.
know, there's got to be some intersectionality in there, hasn't there? There's got to be some, you
They
know,
have to
fucking
cram
race
something,
swapping.
yeah.
There's got to be some of it in there. We've got to have that inclusion and diversity. But even still, I mean, right down to the fucking, you know, the blue stripes on Kobe's, you know, what's
T-shirt.
it? Yeah, t-shirt. You know, they're staying really quite faithful to the lore of the anime.
You know what's funny is Jason Sandberg was talking the other day. He's just like, in like the little group message thing we got going on, he was just like, you know, it'd help if they dressed like Marines and not Boy Scouts. And I was like, dude, that's how they're dressed on the anime, dude. Because with the
Hey guys, I'm sorry, but I gotta go. It was
yeah,
really
that's
fun.
what we're saying,
No
yeah.
worries, Selena.
Yeah,
All
don't worry
right.
about. Yeah,
Have a good night.
All right,
about
you too, guys. Bye bye.
Take care.
Yeah, no, but, I believe actually that the base uniform for the Marines in One Piece are based off the Japanese self-defense force. I think their basic Navy uniforms look a lot like the basic Marines. I don't think they're those big jackets that anyone that's a captain and above has in the anime, but the underlying outfit, which looks kind of Boy Scouty, I think is actually their military.
I mean, I liked the fact that even right down to the Marine logo, it was identical. They're not even like fucking around with it.
No,
That's what I like. It that's what tells me that the creators of the show, they're trying to be as precise as they can, even with all of these little adaptations that Netflix wants them to probably throw in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, actually, the one of the things that I found really impressive was the scarring. Everybody's scars. They look so realistic. They look so well done. They look so well aged. I was shocked. I mean, I was really afraid. Not Gainson. I'm forgetting the guy's name. Who was the basically the sheriff in Kokiyashi Village, where Nami's from.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got scars across multiple times across his face, his whole body, and I was sitting there going, how are they going to make that look realistic and not like he should be dead or what? And they did it. He had all of the same scars and they looked totally realistic. I was really shocked by how cool that was.
One of the cool things about Luffy's scar is that he can't scar now, can he? Because he's
rubber.
He's made of rubber, but he did it before he ate the fruit.
He actually can scar if the scars are made with something sharp. If it like the bullets that they fire in One Piece are old-fashioned round bullets. They're not pointed in any way. So he can bounce those off just like he can bounce off cannonballs. But if you get him with a knife or a blade of some kind, or if there's enough heat, it will scar him.
Interesting.
And actually, there's a really funny. There's an image of Luffy and like there's a diagram that points to all of his scars. And hold on, I'll turn my camera on just for a minute. There's supposed to be like scar tissue. There's supposed to be 5 bite marks right here from where Arlong bit him. And if you see him with his shirt off, you'll actually see little tiny scars here. There's a scar here from something that happened with the Black Cat pirates, because he actually fought like the entire pirate crew in the anime. And so he's got a couple slices here. And then later on, there'll be some other very famous injuries that will become a part of his look. And he'll have a specific scar in his chest. So it's just, they did a really good job with that. But at the same time, they're also, they don't nerf him, but they give him plenty of vulnerability. So he doesn't become like, is there a male version of a Mary Sue?
Goku?
Yeah. So he doesn't become Goku.
so overpowered that like, it's just redonkulous.
Yeah. Like they have to make crazier and crazier bad guys because you just keep making him too powerful. Well, Luffy's got a lot of power, but they also give him plenty of vulnerabilities. And they make him learn to use that power. Yeah, he spent 10 years practicing his Gum Gum Gatling and Gum Gum pistol, but you see as he moves on to bigger opponents in a bigger world and meets different people, he takes pieces of that and he makes himself better as he goes along and stronger.
Correction, Goku is not a Mary Sue. Goku actually practices and trains 24/7.
That's true.
He's overpowered as crap, though. But,
Yeah.
you know. That's
Anvek said a Gary stew.
a Gary stew.
But yeah, no. But you're right. That's the scar really does actually also show that he doesn't have a lot of other scars anywhere because he became rubber. Yeah.
But I just love the way that, you know, each episode is episodic as well. It's part of a grander story, but each sort of, you know, theme of each story is like self-encapsulated. You know, it's like an encounter with a new sort of, you know, boss, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, no,
because
absolutely.
everybody's got like a different, you know, devil fruit power. And
you're gonna get to see some really interesting devil fruit powers once you get to the Grand Line.
And I just like the way that, you know, that it's set out in the sense of from episode to episode, it's like a new piece of the crew is met and a new person on the crew, you know, joins, that sort of thing. So by the end of it, you've got the full crew and they're, you know, off to find the Grand Line.
They will get a couple more crew members, but not until they get onto the Grand Line. But so Jack, have you seen any of the anime? You said you were.
I've started watching like the first season, so yeah.
Okay. But you're still in East Blue, I assume, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you mind a spoiler that you can find anywhere?
Not really. It's not too soon. It's like it's been out for a very long time.
The doctor of the ship, the crew's doctor, is actually a reindeer that ate a human fruit. So he's an anthropomorphic reindeer. And a lot of people are pushing really hard. If they're gonna put Chopper in season 2, please make him an animatronic. Make him like Henson's puppets. And I'm super excited that they might do that. Like, really excited to see what they do with Chopper. Because most of the time he's really cute, but he can expand into this giant monster. He's got multiple transformations. He's kind of cool.
It looks like something that would, like when he turns into a big guy, like something from Five Nights at Freddy's that would come out and kill you.
Kind of, yeah. His monster point's pretty scary as far as cartoons go. But yeah, he's just there's just so many characters and there's so much stuff that I can't wait for people to be introduced to. And
because there's so many, I've been looking at how many anime episodes there are. So because there are so many seasons of it, there is so much that you could do with this live action version. Exactly. This could go on for years.
Yeah.
Yep. And unlike Game of Thrones, the person who wrote it will always be there by your side, making sure you don't screw it up.
And I really do wish that they'd made far more episodes a season, though. 8 is not enough.
Yeah, I really do.
It should have been a 22 episode season.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like,
I was thinking at least 13, at the very least 13. But
22. It's such 22. A big.
Yeah,
there's such a big library to go through.
Yeah. Well, also it's someone was saying that it's so even with as short as it is, they pack so much into those episodes that they felt like they should have been dropped in like 2 episode bundles, like 2 episodes next week, 2 episodes next week. 2.
Yeah.
So you really get into how amazing each of these episodes is, how much is in there. I mean, I binged it at 12:04 a.m. I was watching episode 1, and at 7 something, I was finally passing out.
Well, I happened to have like an episode break. Like I had a day break before I watched the last episode. I like saw the first episode, and then I took like a day break, and then I sort of binged the rest of them up until episode 7, and then I had a day break for number 8. But I was itching to get back to it. You know what I mean? That was the thing. It's like like the first moment that I'd got to be able to watch it. I was there, you know, switching it on. Yeah. And I downloaded Ahsoka as well. and I'd got that in my download like
so sorry.
fucking for ages, and I still didn't watch it until like yesterday because it's just
because it's not interesting. It doesn't pull you in. It doesn't make you want to know what's going to happen with these people. I mean, the reason One Piece is going on for, I believe, yesterday dropped episode 1076, and it's like, and everyone's going, yes, but we want the next episode now. and when Toei or Oda go on break, sometimes it's like 3-week break, and you watch the One Piece Twitter people just going nuts, and like, do you think it's gonna be this? No, it's gonna be this. No, it's gonna be like, and I don't think there's any anime that has more theories, like the amount of theories that people go into, and it's just. But like you said, there's so much here. There's so much depth of information that you can come up with crazy theories, and every once in a while, someone's crazy theory turns out to be right, and it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, it turns out to be wrong, but most people are fine with that. That's the other thing. Like people are like, oh, you're so toxic because you're obsessed with your theories. Like, no. Most of us are cool with just saying what we think or hope is going to happen and then letting it go. The people who are really obsessed, everyone makes jokes that they ate the theory fruit. So it's just I tend to find it mostly an enjoyable fan base on top of everything else. I mean, on Facebook, it's very clear that I'm Jewish, and I get letters from guys from Saudi Arabia and from Syria and all something like talking to me about One Piece. Like, they don't give two shits. I got an Israeli flag on one of my things, and they're still talking to me because One Piece connects people in a way that just so much, like great literature can connect people. One Piece really connects people, and you feel like you have some type of essence or ideas in common to some degree. And you'll actually see, if you keep watching One Piece, that you can watch it very shallowly and still get a lot out of it, but if you look a little bit deeper, like every form of politics is in there one way or another. All the good and all the bad, especially the bad that comes with a lot of these different systems. How easy it is to mess with some of these systems. Why someone would give up true freedoms for security. What does that entail? What does it mean to liberate people? Like everything. Like there's so much in there that is just really, really interesting if you're willing to give it a chance to kind of do a little bit of a deep dive.
There is one interesting thing that I'd like to sort of mention, though.
Sure.
In the live action, Luffy is very, very positive about everything. Even with like Kobe is like, if that's what you want to do, if that's your dream, I think you should do it, even if it means we're going to be enemies. That's what you want to do. That's your dream, And he's like really, encouraging, and he's really positive. But in the very first episode, he sees Kobe's character, and he's like, "You're a coward." And like this and that, he's like, I hate you,
but with a big smile on his face.
What?
Yeah, I said, but with a big smile on his face. It's like,
yeah, kind of. Yeah, he laughs about it. He's like, you're. So not only are you this, but you're a coward as well. He's like, wow, man, I hate you. Like, fucking hell. Yeah. Harsh, bro.
Okay, there's a scene. It's not gonna matter because it's so far from where you are now. But there's a scene where he meets a mermaid princess, and she's been locked in a tower for a decade, and she cries very easily. And he's in there. He's like, "Wow, you are such a crybaby. I hate people like you." As he's sitting there bouncing around and smiling and laughing and talking to her, and in the end, he breaks her out and shows her the world and makes her feel like she can do things and stuff. And he's like. And once she takes just a little bit of control of her own life, Luffy's her best friend, and he'll do anything she wants, and he's happy to be around her. She also fed him. That's a big deal. Anyone who feeds Luffy is automatically in good graces. There's an episode where there's this female gladiator who's unbelievably hot, and her uniform is unbelievably sexy, and Luffy does something to save her, and she kind of lies down and says, "You can do whatever you want with me." And he said, "Do you have lunch?" And she feeds him lunch. That's all he wants out of it. So Luffy's very honest. If he thinks that you're not a good person or not living up to the good person that's inside of you, the strong person that's inside of you, he's going to tell you straight to your face, wow, you're a coward. No, wow, you're a crybaby. That's stupid.
Maybe more people should be like that.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, you're a coward. I hate people like you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just letting you know. You really need to grow up.
Yeah,
if you want to be
I
someone
don't
who's
like
liked.
people like that.
Well, that's the thing. In the anime, when Kobe starts saying, like, freaking out or panicking or saying crazy shit, Luffy punches him in the top of the head. And he says, what was that for? And Luffy goes, I felt like it. And he does that 2 or 3 times in the anime. In the live action, he only punches him once. And he's saying, because you were being stupid. And I'm like, no. Say the truth. Luffy felt like it.
And I love the fact that, you know, he's like, his catchphrase is "I'm going to be king of the pirates" as well, like it is in the anime as well. Like they really kept that alive in the live action as well.
And I was a little worried in live action that it would start to feel obnoxious or feel like too much. But no, I thought
it doesn't.
He does a great job.
He could say it every fucking episode, and I'm not going to get bored of him saying that.
Yeah. I mean, the casting for this really was the saving grace of everything, because almost every single character is cast so well.
And they're all unknown as well.
Yeah, which
they've been in a few major roles.
Mikenyu is not as unknown, at least in Asia. He was in 3 different anime live actions so far. Rurouni Kenshin, Saint Seiya, and one of the Full Metal Alchemists. They made him Scar. Oh god. So he's a little bit less unknown, at least in Asia. But yeah, they're great actors and actresses. They're all gonna be, I assume, will get really good from the contract offers and stuff from this shit.
I would hope so.
What's her name who plays Nami? Supposedly she like Godoy who plays Luffy, they both were One Piece fans before this all started. And when she heard through her agent that there might be a live action One Piece and that they were looking for actresses, she dyed her hair orange. She started rereading the manga from the beginning. She spent 3 years trying to get this role. And then she got it.
For it. Fair play. Good for her.
Yeah. I mean, she worked her ass off and she got it, and she was great at it. It'll be interesting to see if they'll do a glow up for her too, or if that's going to be considered too fan servicey.
I don't know, but I mean, like watching her story, and you know, like, because I don't feel like I've really got that far in the anime yet. But watching her story play out and the backstory with
Nojiko and Bellamere.
The backstory with the village, and you know,
Nojiko's her sister, Bellamere's her adopted mom who gets killed by Arlong.
Arlong, that was the one I was trying to think of. And she gets taken away by Arlong and has to go with him and that sort of thing. And the whole I was invested in the story and I was invested in her story arc.
Yeah,
do you get what I mean? And
no, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I know her story arc, and it still pulled me in. And
yeah, me too. That's the thing. I seen it before. I know kind of knew what was going on, but
there's one difference in the live action from the anime manga that I think actually took a little bit away from her scenes, but it's not a huge deal. Is in the original, the whole town knows what she's doing. They give her a cold shoulder. They don't treat her very well. They act like they don't know that she's trying to buy back the village, because they always wanted her to be able to give up and go. She didn't want that. They didn't want her to know that they were all of their lives, all of their futures were riding on her shoulders, because if she had the chance to escape this life, they wanted her to escape and leave. So at the end, when her money gets stolen and the entire town gets up in arms, she says, "What are you doing? Don't do this." I go, "Nami, we know. We've always known." And she's like, "What do you mean you've always known?" She said, "We didn't want you to feel tied to us, but we've always known, and we're not going to let you go through this again." And she's like, No, everybody, calm down. It's only 100 million berries. I did it once. I can do it again. It's okay. And they all just look at her and say, "No." And they march off towards Arlong Park. And that's when she totally loses it, when she does the stabbing of her tattoo and stuff, because everything she's done for 8 years now means nothing. Everything she's gone through, everything she did for the town now means nothing. And that's when she just hits rock bottom.
Marching their death.
the town not knowing what's going on and just finding out at the last minute didn't feel as quite as.
Iron's got to go. Sorry to interrupt you
sorry.
there, but I was just trying to
Yeah.
let you know that Iron's got to go.
Bye,
He was
Iron.
trying to wave.
See you, dude.
Good to see you again, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Always. But,
yeah,
so
carry
that
on.
was one small difference that I thought makes the original a little bit more emotional or whatever. But it's not a big deal. I still think that scene was done beautifully.
I mean, yeah, because I'm a bit of a cynic sometimes. Like when she's stabbing herself in the arm, I'm thinking to myself, how is she going to use that fucking arm now? Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, in the manga, she actually cuts into her arm much more than they did in live action because she could only do 1 or 2 cuts, or else, it loses sense of realism. But the idea that she was so upset that she would scratch and then literally try to cut the skin off her arm, exactly how it was in the manga. And the idea that Nami, who's always been on her own, especially since she became a member of the Arlong Pirates, since she was 7 or 8 years old, she's been doing it all alone. Even if the other pirates were there, they weren't really very caregiving. They weren't raising her. She was chained to a fucking desk till she was 12. That scene in the live action where they showed the chain on the floor, I don't think that's in the anime, and I thought that was an amazing detail. In the map room, there's a chain bolted into the floor, and Nami says, "For my 12th birthday, he let me go free." And it's like, whoa, that actually went darker than the anime. And actually, it's interesting. The manga is generally a little bit darker and a little bit harder than almost all of the anime, just because in Japan, shonen is for teenagers and adults, whereas most of the stuff here we consider for teenagers or younger. So like eventually there'll be a big battle where someone in the manga, like half of his skull gets blown off, and in the anime just his mustache gets blown off.
Yeah, they censor a little bit.
But so the live action actually has the ability to be a bit darker than the anime because they have that darkness in the manga. So I also thought that was shown a little bit with a slightly more mature versions of certain little scenes and stuff. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, it's a lot more violent than the anime. It may not be quite as much as the manga, but there's a whole lot of, like with Alvita with her freaking bludgeon thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of jokes in the One Piece fan base that no one ever dies in One Piece, and there's a couple scenes where it really doesn't make any sense that someone could possibly have lived through such and such. But Oda wasn't looking. He said, "I'm not looking for a horror. I'm not looking to make a horror anime. I'm not looking to make a gore anime, and I never know if I want to use these characters again. So yeah, nobody dies except in flashbacks, and well, there's a joke that if they're people of color and bad guys, that Zoro will kill them. Because almost all the people that Zoro's actually killed would not have the lightest skin. So there's a... Well, there were a lot of people laughing hysterically when they showed him killing number 7 in the beginning. Because in the anime and the manga, we find out much later on that someone from Baroque Works did try to recruit him and did get killed by him, but that's all we know, that there was a Mr. 7 and that's what happened. We don't know anything about Mr. 7 except a very small scratch doodle that Oda Sensei put in one of his SBSs, which are these. That's the other thing. The manga, when it comes out in volumes, they have these sections that he calls SBS, which is you can write in and ask him any questions and he'll answer them or he'll draw them. It's like, what would Zoro's swords look like if they were human? And he draws these 3 different weird looking humans that are each one of his swords and that have personalities, like the swords have personalities. My favorite one was, someone said, what would Yamato's side breast, because she wears an outfit, you can always see side boob. It's like, what would her side breast be like as a human being? I mean, yeah, the SBSs also have lots of weird things like what's Zoro's favorite food, or what's his chest size, or what is Sanji's favorite thing to bake for Nami, or like crazy questions, and he'll answer them all. And in the SBS, he made this little doodle that had had spikes on its head, so Mr. 7 had that crazy mohawk. But there was nothing about his race, so the fact that they made him black and then had Zoro kill him straight off, people were cracking jokes all over the One Piece groups. They're like, colored killer's still there.
So I
don't
just,
celebrate this. I just think it's bad luck.
I just wanted to quickly change the subject. Like I saw this just floating around just now on Twitter. I wanted to know how this makes people feel. So this is a video of a wine distillery. It burst or something.
Oh my god. Not as bad as the molasses in Boston, but that's whoa. I feel so sorry for those people.
Sorry.
Well,
Shoot.
whoever that's
Back in the day, I'd have had like every liquid container that I could find be out there scooping. I'd be drinking it off the ground. I wouldn't have cared.
Damming it up like a fucking beaver.
Yeah, man. I've been out there been out there just like wading in that shit. It'd be dirty as hell. I'd still be drinking it.
Something similar happened in Boston 150 years ago. There was this huge water tower.
Molasses.
And it burst, and it actually killed a bunch of people. It literally drowned part of downtown Boston in molasses. It's the first thing I thought of when I saw the wine.
Did you see this? Apparently, an orangutan launches a possum out of an enclosure at a zoo.
Oh my
so
God.
Bright.
You're going blind, fool.
I am now. I'm fucking snowblind.
It's just funny because like Krista's like, stop tagging me in this. I hate orangutans. Every time, ever since Jeremy said orangutan, that's all I think of, man. Instead of orangutan, it's like
orangutans.
Yeah, it threw. Apparently, it threw a possum out of an enclosure at a zoo. But that just made me laugh because all I thought of was orangutan.
Anvek's right that alcohol is going to vaporize, going to get drunk off the fumes. Did anyone ever see that BBC whether it was a documentary or whatever, but it was a reporter standing in front of a camera, and behind him is the sort of Afghani authorities burning a whole bunch of like hash and weed plants and stuff like that, like
up in smoke.
Yeah, confiscating it, right? And so he's standing there, right, in front of all of this weed and heroin that they're burning in the middle of a big fucking field, and the smoke's blowing his way. And he's literally getting high as he stands there doing this report. He's coughing on the fumes like he's taken a fucking hit on the bong.
Like, how much weed do you think that is? A shitload.
There was a British movie also called Saving Grace, where an older woman is going to lose her home, and she's been this amazing horticulturist for years, and the local pot guy can't make his plants work, so she works with him to grow the best pot ever, and then she's got to try to sell it, and it's really the whole thing is really funny. But in the end, they try to burn it to get rid of the evidence, and people just keep walking in and out of the greenhouse. Just the minute you walk through, you're baked by the time you get to the other door.
Oh yeah.
Man, I knew some dudes that followed like this county truck around because they had confiscated a bunch of weed, and they had it on the back of a truck. And I knew these guys, they were following the truck around all day trying to find where they were going to burn it. Eventually, we had to give up, man. We never could. They never did stop. They were driving around following this truck around. It was full of a bunch of weed plants they'd confiscated. They were like, "We know they're gonna burn it somewhere."
Oh, fuck, if I knew that sort of shit, I'd be following it too.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, I'm back, right. That reporter, he started giggling and shit because he was just getting so high.
That's hilarious, man.
So
they had opium. They were burning opium plants.
Yeah, opium and hash and like all the weed plants that they'd confiscated and that. Shall I talk about what happened at the meetup then?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
How I got bummed and stuff like that by everyone. No, that's not true. That's not true. No one raped me. I let it happen. No. MSK's MSK's in the chat. Hello.
Uh-oh.
What's up, man?
In One Piece live action.
What's that? Can't wait to see Bad Hancock.
Yeah, Boa Hancock.
Boa Hancock, yeah.
Oh, yes. I like it when you start telling fiction stories. It's hilarious.
You're really good at them.
Yeah.
I had sex with a lady once too. Made a child. Anyway, so how do I approach this? Right, so I'm lucky enough to have, and you and me both, Diesel. We're lucky enough to have actually befriended Quarter Black Garrett.
Yeah.
So I knew that he was coming over, and I was straight on the messages to him. I was like, "Look, man, I don't give a fuck about what you want to do at the meetup. Yeah, I'm happy to go to the meetup, but I want to fucking meet up with you. Like outside of all that shit, we've got to meet up. You're gonna be here. I don't care where you are. I'll fucking travel there." And he was like, "Yeah, of course, man, no problem." And so, we set the time and the place, and obviously we had to sort of work with each other in the time, and that when he was doing other things, when he was going to see Stonehenge, all that kind of stuff, because I knew I wasn't going to be going and doing that stuff, and I knew that there was a possibility that he was going to go up and see as well, that sort of thing. So I just I worked it out. So I was going to be there the day before the meetup, the day of the meetup, and then I'd be going back the day after the meetup. And so I travels down there first thing in the morning. I get there about 10 o'clock. And it was a matter of trying to figure out where he was in London, how I could get there, etc. And so he said he was at the Wallace Museum. And I couldn't actually get in touch with him at the time. So I'd messaged X-Ray Girl because she messaged. I was saying to him, I don't exactly know where that is. And so X-Ray Girl messaged me, and she was like, the map, click on it, and she told me exactly where it was, basically. So I went there, got on the tube, went to the Wallace collection. So the Wallace collection is a load of very, very fine art and things like suits of armor and swords. And there's videos on the Nerd Rossic channel, and I think on Shad's channel. And on each of them, they must have each taken a video of being in that museum. Anyway, so it turns up there, and I'm like looking around for about 10 minutes trying to find Garrett, basically. And I didn't know that everyone else was going to be there, but like eventually I find him, but I don't see him first. I see Shad first. And so I thought to myself, this must be the room. This is the room. This is where they're at. And so I'm looking around, and then I see Gary. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to go up and talk to any of these people because Garrett's the person that I'm here to see. You know what I mean? I had no idea all these other fucking people were going to be there. And so I didn't say anything to him because he was just looking through just looking through all the shelves and looking through all the cases and admiring the artwork and the suits of armor. And I'm just sort of standing next to him, and where he's moving to, I'm just standing next to him, like walking with him slowly, just where he stands. I'm like right there, right by his side. I've already found him. I'm right by his side. I knew who it was, and I've just stuck by his side, not said a fucking word to him. It took him a few minutes, but he turned and he did a double take at me. He was like, and he put his arms out and we fucking slapped, hugged, that sort of thing. And shot the shit a bit first, and then we did some introductions. X-Ray Girl, Gary, and and Adam Krigler, Shad, everyone. I got introduced very quickly to everyone, and Agent Bossy Boots, Gary's wife, Shad's wife was there as well, So anyway, we sort of walked around the Wallace collection, was talking a little bit, and they wanted to go to the British Museum because they wanted to check out some of the ancient stuff, and I'm sure that they're going to put some of that perhaps on one of their shows. Perhaps maybe it'll be on Forbidden Frontier next week or something like that. But I've got a few videos myself of being at the British Museum. In fact, I think Garrett shared a few of them as well.
I saw one that you had on Twitter where you were just like in the native, something like in his native element, Quarterback Garrett or something like that in the wild or something.
Yeah, and like Floyd said, he's always up for the bit. So he like as soon as I come round the corner talking like David Attenborough with that camera on him, he like went straight into the bit, didn't he? And
Yep.
so yeah, I'll just share this here because Garrett actually shared a few things. So give me a second.
Yep. That sounds like fun, man.
It's just in case people haven't seen these on Twitter yet. So there I am. There's my ugly bastard face there, and Trigler. And so this is a pie and mash shop. This was on the day of the the actual event, and that was a fucking game trying to get hold of them. They wanted to go down the Portobello Road, and if you don't know what the Portobello Road is, it's like this really long road in Notting Hill, and there's market stalls all the way up it, and it's like antique stuff and secondhand stuff and etc. and like cafes and so they wanted to go up there and have a look around for some stuff, and we ended up hey Nightwing. And we ended up, Garrett wanted some lunch, and he was like, do you know what? I really fancy pie and mash. He was told to go and try some pie and mash. And so we found this place on the Portobello Road called Cockney's. And fucking hell, oh, mate. It was £5. It was £5, and you got a meat and potato. Well, it was like a meat pie, pastry pie with a, dollop of mash on the side. And you could either have gravy with it, or it's more traditional to have what's known as the liquor. And the liquor is like a parsley fish stock sauce. It's a strange flavor, but me and Garrett had the gravy anyway because I'm not into the liquor. But X-Ray Girl was brave enough to have the liquor, and she fucking enjoyed it. Garrett ate all of his, absolutely demolished the fucking lot. He did, and I couldn't eat all mine. I was absolutely stuffed. Got halfway through it, all that pie and all that mash and all that gravy. I was just fucking, full to the brim. Cup of coffee as well. Not that that's traditional, but that's what I had. But yeah, it was fun going up the Portobello Road with them. But it was a pain in the ass finding them because it was so hot that day. My phone was started to overheat, so it was soft locking. Like they managed to tell me where they were going and where they were, and we'd got off because where we were and how we were getting on the tubes. I got off at one fucking tube station. They got off the other tube station, which was right the other end down the other end of the Portobello Road. So we was like two opposite ends. And so I was in this moment, like in the morning, where I'd like they told me like where they were, and they said that they were going to be on the Portobello Road. And then I couldn't get in touch with them for like fucking half an hour. I couldn't get in touch with them. And I walked the entire fucking length of that road from one end to the other, and I couldn't find them anywhere. Finally managed to reset my phone. And they says that they was in this shop. Walked down to that shop. They're nowhere to be seen. And luckily, I heard some American voices, and I heard X-Ray Girl from just out of earshot. And they were all sitting down at this cafe. And because we'd met the night before, obviously, and we had actually gone to the venue to have dinner together, that's where that other photo was generated. The one where you see us all sitting at the table.
Yeah. That other one. Yeah.
Where is that one? In fact, I think he's got it here.
Adam Krigler looks like the Unabomber.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But yeah. There was us all. That was at the venue. Disparu floating behind me there.
With no legs.
There's Mauler, of course. Everyone was saying that this was Mauler underneath the and it's not. That's Chad's missus.
Chad's wife.
Yeah. And that's Melissa, Agent Bossy Boots. That's Gary's missus there. And of course, spending time with Mark, talking to him, and it's interesting to, hear stories about his leg and, what he's doing in the army or in the military, I should say. But yeah, I mean, it was great fun. I'm very, 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 very privileged to have, been friends with Garrett enough to have gotten an in with the crowd. Do you know what I mean? It's like, But I mean, Garrett. Yeah. So I mean, like ages ago, Garrett got a bunch of. Yeah, I'll stop sharing that now. So Garrett got a bunch of these pogs made up.
Oh yeah, I remember. When
You remember?
Yeah, that's because I
pogs
never
made
understood what pogs were, man.
But yeah, I finally got my pogs, man.
Cool.
Quarter black Garrett pogs. Is it?
Yeah, that's what he kept talking about in Chad's stream, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
am I so old I don't know what these are? And he's like, yeah. And I'm just like, okay, I don't get it.
It's the slammer. So that's a thick piece of aluminium, that is. And on the back.
That's thicker than my AA chip.
Thicker than your AA chip, is that what you said?
Yeah. There's my AA chip, man.
Good for you, buddy. Stick to it.
I got to. I won't be breathing otherwise.
But yeah, so I mean, he bought those all the way over here for me. But at that table where we were all sat at that venue having dinner, Adam Krigler pulled out the coup de grace of souvenirs, and that is the nut cream. If you don't know, in my hand I hold a sachet of Adam Krigler's nut cream, and at some point I'm going to put Adam Krigler's nut cream in my mouth. At some point, but not right now. I'm not doing it now. So just to make you jealous, I got some of this sugar. And I tell you something, mate. It like they were all saying, "Oh, it's really, really sweet. Like it tastes like Nutella, but it's really, really sweet." And I'm not kidding you, mate. Like I'm just feeling the packet when you squeeze it, so that there's no chocolate between your fingers. Yeah, I can feel granules of sugar, like little crystals of sugar, all the way through it. What's going on there with Tiny?
Oh, we got some cat.
Hold on.
A kitty cat. Well, that's the only thing that's going to take the shine away from my nut cream, I guess.
Sorry. Why can't I make the background go away?
Gonna hold it in.
Is it like chocolate? Is it like
chocolate? So it's thinner than Nutella, and maybe that's because it's like warm here, and I've been mauling it and like squeezing it backwards and forwards and shit. But it feels thinner than Nutella. But apparently, from what Garrett says, it tastes more like a Reese's cup.
Oh,
like a Reese's peanut butter cup. So I don't know. But I mean, I imagine it tastes like Nutella. It's got hazelnuts on it, and so that's Nutella. So, pussy. I don't know which is tastier, pussy or the chocolate. Maybe you can combine the two. Maybe put that on one of my OnlyFans Tier 5 subscription streams.
Cool. Diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rare picture of the.
Yeah, she's so freaking camera shy. I can't even she'll be doing something completely insane, and the minute I pick my phone up, she stops dead. She's been asleep, and I walk over with my camera, and she'll roll over so she's not as cute. Like literally, she hates cameras.
Have you killed that tarantula you've got yet? Let me tell you what. What you need to do. Just get your mom to get you some Raid, some wasp and hornet spray. You can that stuff is good for like 10, 15, maybe 20 feet. And the next time that thing is out there, you can stand at a nice safe distance and hose that thing down, and it'll cough up. It'll be dead. Because I've done that before. Just get you some of that Raid, the long shot like the wasp and hornet stuff.
I don't really want to kill it because I actually like spiders and I think they do an important job, but I just don't want them anywhere near me, especially my face.
Right.
So walking down the stairs into a giant web was not so much fun.
It'll be all right. He's lived a good life if he's that big. Send him on his way.
The amount of people on Twitter who are like, "Oh, I think that's an orb weaver. Oh, I think that's this. Oh, they're so good." Like you don't need to sell me on not killing spiders. I just don't want it near me.
Yeah, that's why you kill them. I almost walked into one time back long time ago. It was between these two pillars at this house, and it was out on the front porch, and I walked out there, and I almost walked right into it, and it was like right there in my face, and I was like, oh boy. And it was a web. It was huge. It was like it was like 4 or 5 feet between these two pillars, and the whole thing was a web there. I went and got some Raid and hosed that bastard down. I didn't want to walk into it, so dead spider.
And so I'm just going to share this. I've turned the sound down because you'll get flagged on this on this song, unfortunately. But it's that if you, in fact, if I share the link to it in
That's
the
called
chat,
the Eye, right? The giant Ferris wheel thing is called the Eye.
Yeah, the Eye of London, or the Millennium Eye. Some people say. I'm just going to share. Hang on. I just want to share this in the chat so that people can actually go and view it for themselves. So I've just shared that in the chat there so people can view it for themselves with the sound on, because otherwise he's going to get flagged for this. But is it sharing? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. These are just some highlights, and it was a really good video that was knocked together by Room 5, so I thought it's worth a share, even if it's with no sound on. There he is, officer. Yeah. But it was such a good event. Like, I was sitting with a guy called Dusty Props. I don't know if you remember him, Diesel, from in Quarter Black Garrett's chat, but he's been in the chat ever since. He was fucking knee-high to a grasshopper, I guess. But he was there with his partner, and
what was that
we were
under the table?
She was just ducking under it. There was like nowhere to walk around, and
but it's a really great image. The shot is just her coming out from under the table, so it's.
But like I say, it was a great experience. It was a great time, and like going back, and having a few drinks after the fucking event, and just before, going to bed, like being able to sit there with Kriegler and Garrett, having a few pints before you go back to the hotel, sort of thing. It was surreal. Like just the other week, I wasn't doing that, and this week, last week they were just people on a fucking screen, and now they're real people who have met in front of me.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the things that the Friday Night Heights meetups and a lot of stuff that Geeks and Gamers has been doing in a lot of ways is kind of breaking the parasocial issues that happen with a lot of online stuff. Like people, like they think they know you, they feel connected to you, but there's no actual back and forth because the other person generally doesn't know you exist.
Yeah,
and you get a parasocial relationship, which can be very damaging. A lot of the modern psych people are saying now. But
no,
with
it's
FNT, I agree too. But with FNT, this idea that they're coming out of the screen, they're willing to meet you, they're willing to interact with you, they do actually care about you as people, not just numbers. And I think that's really great.
Yeah, man, that's like that's cool. Like my best friend, like I met him years ago hanging out on a freaking message board back in kids back in the day, like when you had to like rub two sticks together to make internet connection. People used to get on like message boards before there was Facebook and all that.
I was lucky
stuff.
I had a crank for my internet connection.
You did. I had to rub the sticks together, man. That took forever. And then you'd be lucky to get you like a 12K dial-up signal. Oh god, let me download this picture, and it was like an hour later. You're just like, oh wait, I think I see a nipple. Oh no, let's keep going.
I have to say,
Yeah.
I've always been grateful that my non-desire for porn meant I didn't have to do that in high school. And so many of my guy friends, I remember talking about that.
No, but even still, trying to download the latest Britney Spears song at 3 days a fucking time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. Oh God, I still remember when my grandma got Prodigy, and having to help her figure out how to work it. The very, very beginnings of internet.
Now,
mhm.
I remember Net Zero when it was actually free. You could get the disc put on the computer, and it would dial up to something local, and you had free internet you didn't have to pay for. That's why it was Net Zero.
Mhm.
And then something bought them and started charging things.
Yeah, Napster was the one that destroyed the music industry.
Yes,
Napster
it did.
Absolutely 100% destroyed the music industry.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I remember there being an AOL disc, right? And all you needed to do was sign up with a fucking new email address that you just made up on the spot, right?
Yep.
And you got free dial-up for 2 weeks. It was a 2-week trial disc. And as long as you just kept signing up with a different fucking email address, they didn't check anything else. They didn't check it was coming from the same phone line or anything. So it was just free internet all the time. You just kept reinstalling it and free internet.
Yeah, man. I remember downloading a movie and it took it took a week. I was tying up the computer all night. By 8 o'clock at night, I'm just like, well, nobody's using the phone tonight. And for the next week, and download a real pixelated, shitty copy of a movie.
On BearShare.
No, it was on Kazaya. Remember that?
Oh, Kazaa, yeah. I remember
Kazaa.
Kazaa.
Video.
Kazaa, fucking hell. That is a blast from the past, that is.
Seriously.
Man, it's old school stuff, dude.
Wow.
I am old school.
You
Yeah,
needed to be seriously careful about what you downloaded on that thing as well.
Oh
because
man, I put all
sometimes
kinds of that's how I found out about spyware and how to remove it, because I put so much of it on the computer. I remember one time I remember one time I installed this was at a work computer. I installed a Kobe Bryant game. Wherever he'd bump into women, they would sue him and take all your money. You started out with a bunch of money, and Kobe Bryant was walking down the street, and then he'd bump into women. Damn, and they'd take all this money from him. And it was basically that was the whole point of the game. It was like nothing. I put so much spyware on that work. It was like a shit ton of spyware. It was hilarious, man. Damn! Every time he bumped into
See, Selena remembers it.
the Kobe Bryant game.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we're old as dirt.
Old as dirt, man. Old as dirt, man. That was cool. That was a very unique time. I remember playing. My brother and I were playing the first Aliens versus Predator game online, and it was funny because we were on dial-up, and some dude must have had a T1 connection because he was about 1,000 times faster than everybody else, and he kept spawning between everybody else. And as soon as you would spawn, you would be on fire. And I'm just like, every fucking time, it was just kept dying because he had the flamethrower, and you'd spawn, and then you'd be on fire. And I look around in the room, and there were 5 other people running around, and they were all on fire too. And I was just like, this guy had a T1 connection, and he was just setting everybody on fire while they were trying to spawn with their slow-ass dial-up. Old tales from the gaming crypt. That was fun stuff, ladies and gents. Fun stuff. But where are we at? We're about at
I was good. I didn't download anything illegally. Y'all can't see my face.
Well, I didn't download anything illegally.
I know that's a lie. You can't hide behind that avatar. I know you're lying.
I don't think anybody downloads anything illegally because it's not illegal to download things on the internet.
It's still technically pirating.
No, it's pirating to share it. It's not pirating to download it.
Oh, really? I thought it was both.
Yeah. No, if you upload it, that's the issue.
The illegal part. Downloading it has nothing to do with it.
You just because it's being distributed to you, it's like unless they can prove that you're making copies of that video, yeah, They'd need to get warrants and shit. It's just too much to do. But uploading it, that's a different thing. That's why it's rarely ever the end user that gets prosecuted. It's always the internet host, or it's the the domain subscriber or whatever. It's never usually the end user. They might send you a threatening sort of like fucking, I don't know, like if
we've noticed you downloaded 10,000 songs we're
yeah,
watching.
yeah,
Well,
that
the
sort
internet
of thing.
service provider, or unless you've got like a VPN, they'll be like threatening to yank your internet, man. If you're like,
well, that's more
stuff.
of what they would do is they would get in touch with the VPN, or not the VPN. They'd get in touch with the internet
ISP.
provider, yeah, the ISP, and they would say, this is a list of IP addresses that we've been investigating, and that we can confirm that they've been sharing, or downloading, pirated material. Could you ban them from your service? And that's what would happen. Then your IP address would be banned.
Yep.
But gone are those days. Now the FBI and any secret service can just go and ask your ISP anything. Hell, they can go and ask your fucking safe manufacturer for the secret code, the secret backdoor code to your fucking safe.
Yeah, that's why I sleep with my gun, so I don't have to put it in the safe.
Yeah, Liberty Safe screwed themselves when they did that. They really did.
Absolutely. I mean, what's fucking safe and free about having a place to store your fucking things? And the thing is, right, it's got a backdoor code in it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What, you think that it's a different code for every single one of them? No, that's been hardwired into the fucking safe.
Most likely, yeah.
So it's the same code for every single fucking safe. So now the FBI has got the code for every safe that was manufactured up until this point.
Very possibly. They might technically have different codes for different whatchamacallit. You roll out one version and then you roll out another version. So like the second version, I can't figure out the word I'm missing, but maybe each line.
Yeah, like a next generation.
Yeah, maybe each generation has its own code. That would be a little bit safer, but still, it's insane. I mean, and if they had a warrant and they faxed you the warrant, that's one thing. To say I have a warrant and send you a picture that isn't even of the warrant, that's not legit. Like whoever made that decision at Liberty is, taking their walking papers, because
that's why you got to get
really bad for them.
Yeah, that's why you got to get a safe. Like there's one across the street, and it's so heavy, like it's pushed like the asphalt down on top of where it's sitting. It looks like it was built around the same time as the Titanic, man, and made out of like that kind of steel and stuff like that. It's got these old crank handles and stuff like something you'd see. All right, guys, we're gonna break into this safe in like an old bank robbery movie or something. This thing, it's nothing but mechanical stuff.
Well, that's why I don't like any safes actually that are codes these days. It's so easy and relatively inexpensive now to get a thumbprint scanner or index finger scanner type safe.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about, people are like, you can't have a gun in the house. What if a kid finds it? It's like, well, it's locked up. Well, what if he finds the code? And that does happen sometimes. And kids are stupid. You can't uncode a thumbprint. And you can't call a manufacturer for a thumbprint.
Well, I don't know. I've got the ability to have facial recognition and my thumbprint scanner on the phone to unlock it.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. No, no,
I don't
thank
want
you.
them to have that either, man. Like I was trying to do something that was like, I forgot it was something with taxes, and the IRS was like, scan your face. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? I'm not doing that. No, sir.
I don't want to have my hands handcuffed behind my back, and the police are able to just show the phone to my face and it's unlocked, or able to rub the fucking thing against my thumb and it's unlocked.
I don't want to have my hands cupped behind my back again either. That's no fun.
Yes,
hopefully those days are behind me.
Handcuffs.
Yeah, I got a whole rant on handcuffs we could go into.
The issue that I have is that I'm not, like you say, I don't want to get my hands in handcuffs again, but it's getting to the point where increasingly normal things are it's becoming that normal things are increasingly being things that you get arrested for.
Yeah.
like saying things and like, you know, having jokes with people and etc., etc. And so I can foresee myself being in a situation where I'm probably going to get arrested at some point for doing something that when I was younger was completely innocuous.
That's because they want to turn criminals into a voting base and law-abiding citizens into criminals.
Yep. At least part of it. I don't know. I just that backdoor code is just wrong.
Bullshit.
Yeah. As someone said, well, how do you know that all of the people, the employees who work for you are always going to be 100% people? How do you know someone's not going to work for you for a few years, get access to those codes, and then go on a shopping spree in other people's homes? Like, it's really just, it's a liability issue on top of everything else. You'd be
Amen.
responsible for that.
Yep.
And actually, what we need to get is more liability for our prosecutors. If you let someone off, or you
dang
charge them with what
straight.
the law says to charge them with, and they go out and they kill someone, you should go to prison for 5 freaking years because you purposely let this bitch out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the dude who put the guy in jail who ran over the Trump supporter for 5 years, that piece of shit needs to be
5 years. You got to be freaking kidding me.
No, we're not, because that, I'm telling you, man, these bunch of evil, these bunch of Satan worshiping, death worshiping scumbags, man. This is what they want. It's what they want.
There was
man.
a dude in San Francisco, got arrested for violent crimes, let loose, no bail, kills 3 people. There was someone in Portland, did something very similar. Someone who was part of the BLM riots in DC, who was bailed out by freaking Kamala Harris and her group, went off and started raping people. All of these people would have been in prison if they had followed the actual laws as they're written.
Yep, that's what they want, man. That's what they want. I can't go too deep into that. I'll just start. I'll start getting black pilled or something.
Can you get more black pilled?
Probably, yeah. But I try not to be, man. I gotta be positive, man. I know who's gonna win in the end, so it's not gonna be these evil bastards.
I find a lot of what I've learned in my adult life disillusioning and slightly black pilling, but I'm trying to stay as positive as possible. There's just so many things you think you know, and then you realize that you don't, because...
Well, when I was a kid, I thought my parents knew everything and they knew what was best for me. And now that I'm their age, that they were when I was that age, I know that they didn't know fuck all, and that they were just making it up as they go along, like I am.
Yep.
I have the different thing on that, because like it's just like it took me long enough where I was just like, you know what, my mom's right about like most of the stuff, because had I actually done what she said to do, I probably would not have been arrested, had a million car wrecks, almost died several times. I mean, you just keep naming off the stuff, man. It took me a long time to figure out, you know what? I was the
Maybe
idiot.
I shouldn't do this shit.
Maybe I shouldn't do that shit, man. Maybe I shouldn't touch this hot stove that's like ran to that has a wire running into this electrical socket. Yeah. No, I probably shouldn't do that.
Well, for me, in some ways, I was raised by my mom and my grandmother, and my grandmother used to tell people that if you're under 30, you don't actually have a right to an opinion. So, but I was always taught that basically, I mean, my grandfather had worked for the government. There'd been a lot of stuff that my family's connected to. And because my grandfather was a very honorable man who believed in duty and who believed in this country, and my grandmother was a very honorable woman who did her duty and then raised generations. And I assumed that the other people that they worked with and that they were connected to were also, by definition, honorable, decent human beings. And then I find out that no, almost anyone who's connected to the government, especially at the federal level, is corrupt, or that's not true. Not everyone. There's still a couple people, but most of the people connected to the government are corrupt or incompetent or both. And that was really, really hard for me to accept, because a lot of there are actual like world leaders and important members of different organizations and stuff that were friends with my grandparents. And I just assumed that meant those were good people. And the truth is they're not, most of them.
No.
I mean, my grandma got a letter after my grandfather died, signed from your Donnie as the joke from Don Rumsfeld.
Mm-hmm.
She called him Donnie. That's how close the family was. And then I got to grow up and see all this shit, and I'm like, everything I grew up with was a lie? Like, what the hell?
Didn't he shoot a guy in the face?
No, I think you're thinking about
Dick Cheney.
Oh, that was Dick
and he shot-
Cheney, yeah, not
he
Donald
shot someone and I
Rumsfeld.
think he shot him in the ass, technically.
Oh, I bet he did.
Later, and back. Be good, dude. Have fun with the
See you later, Ranvac.
See ya.
Love
Have a
you.
good night.
Keep the memes coming.
Yeah.
He's gonna go meme Rudy.
But with regards to the meetup, if anyone has got any questions, like if anyone in the chat has any questions about meeting anyone, or if you guys have got any questions about it, please, ask away. Because I feel like I've sort of spoken about it and what my experience was. But if you had anything that you wanted to know that maybe you think I've missed, or if you're curious about anything.
I can't think of any questions off the top of my head, but I'll think about it.
Yeah,
Cool.
I can't think of anything either. It just seems like you guys had fun.
Yeah, it's just I would love to do something like that. I was actually really hoping they were going to do something like that at Comic-Con International because Eric July was here and Gary was here, and they didn't, and I was so bummed because this is the one time I would have been able to go. Actually, when Gary and Corey Black Garrett posted that they were going to go watch the Barbie movie, I actually was trying to figure out which San Diego theater they might be in, so I might go watch the Barbie movie and actually get to meet them. But there were like 17 theaters showing it all at the same time, and I was not going to go around trying to. I'm not actually interested in stalking them. I just wanted to say hi.
No, but I mean that's the thing. There was a couple of times. Excuse me. There was a couple of times while we were walking around London, like because we went to the Forbidden Planet, and we was walking around London and yada yada, going to the museums, and there was a couple of times where Gary was approached by people just on the street, going, "You're Gary from Nerdrotic," and like he'd have to stop and to talk to, not have to, but but he'd stop and he'd talk to them. And there was one time when we were stood outside of Forbidden Planet. And I said, "Did anyone recognize you whilst you was in there?" And he was like, "Well, no, not really, but it was full of like, Zennials, etc. I don't really expect that they're watching what I'm watching." And like, no sooner had he said this lovely woman called Tess comes up and says hello to him, and because she notices him and that she's going to be there at the meetup tomorrow, sort of thing. And she's, and you can hear the tremble in her voice because she's so, taken back, excited that she's meeting this guy who she's supposed to be meeting tomorrow, but like she's just managed to see him out on the street. And I says to him, I said, like, we was walking down the road, and like, everyone saw, what it's like when you're walking down the road as a big group. Often people just sort of like separate into their own little couples. And so me and Gary are just walking down the sidewalk, and I'm saying to him, "So what's it like then, mate? Like, what's it like now that you fucking got people coming up to you all the time saying, oh, you're him, you're that bloke?" He's like, "Do you feel famous? Do you feel like a celebrity?" He's like, it's surreal, because I just feel like just a normal guy. You know what I mean? I'm just a normal guy making videos on the internet about stuff that I like, and putting my opinions out there. I don't feel like I'm anything special or anything like that. I says, but the proof's in the pudding, mate. You are now, ain't you? Whether you like it or not, you're a fucking celebrity. And you got people coming up to you, and I mean, obviously he's grateful.
Yeah.
It's great to have people walking up to you. Shad had his moment too. Disparu had his moment too. I never had my moment. No one knows who the fuck.
That's because I
am.
wasn't there.
Exactly right.
I would have came up to this.
No. I saw those pictures. You didn't have your hat on. If you'd had your hat on, everyone would have recognized you.
That's it. It was
Yeah.
the hat. It was too fucking hot to wear the hat, though. I've got to be honest with you. It was scorching both of those days. Absolutely fucking scorching.
Yeah, I remember X-Ray Girl said something about getting a tan in London that she couldn't get in the Caribbean.
Yeah, Garrett said that he'd spent he said in the DMs that he'd spent the entire day on the fucking tour bus, and he'd got a tan now. So I called him one half Garrett, one half flat Garrett.
It's just really cool that they all actually seem grateful. I mean, anytime you watch Geeks and Gamers or Friday Night Tights or most of Gary's regular videos by him when he does Just for Neurotic, they're almost always, or at least a couple times a week, they're saying, thank you. We couldn't do this without you. We really know that this is all about you. And they're constantly trying to talk to their fans and trying to have ways to interact with the fans and show that they're grateful for the attention and time and money that they've been given. I mean, I've been on FNT sometimes. Some of those super chats are nuts.
Yeah, this like the size of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's so funny when they actually, like, I don't mean this in the negative connotation, I mean actually the good connotation. They grift the chat into fighting each other and doing super chat wars or whatever. It's like, oh, you gonna drop $100? I'm gonna drop $120. I'm gonna drop. Someone dropped $500 the other night. I was like,
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I'm just sitting there going, how do you have 500 extra freaking dollars that you don't need anything else and you can drop it on? I mean, I love them, I do, but I don't have money to pay them to appreciate them. So I just wow.
And quite frankly, thank you to all of those people who are helping fund the culture war.
Absolutely.
Because it really is helping. And I got to say, Disparu is like one of the nicest, like most generous people that I encountered, because not only on the night did that we were eating at the venue, he offered to pay for my entire meal and a taxi home. He did it again. He did it again the night after, when it was a bit like up in the air whether or not I was going to have to walk back. It was only a half an hour walk back from where we were to where my hotel was, or it was like 9 minutes on the tube. But it was so late that we didn't think that I was going to make my tube. And he was saying, look, I'll just pay for a taxi. If you can find a cash machine, I'll just draw the money out, and I'll give you the money. And I was just having none of it. I couldn't accept it. I'm just not that type of person. But he was very generous. So on both occasions, I did shoot him down and say no, thank you. But he was very, very generous to offer to help me like that. But luckily, that second night, I managed to get the very last tube home. So nice. I was lucky.
No, he always seems really sweet and kind of upbeat, a little bit, not quite, but a little bit like Luffy almost. Like he'll say when he's talking about some of the things that they've destroyed, he's always laughing. He's almost always laughing at them. I understand, because I do it all the time, why other people get really angry about what's been going on or what is happening or how badly something's done. But Dispro gets angry, but he just laughs. He laughs it all off. He just used basic logic and totally takes it apart in a joyous way. In a way, he's a little tiny bit Luffy-esque.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And that's about one of the best compliments I can give somebody.
Well, thanks, Hale. I'd be excited to meet you too. Be cool to sort of put a voice and a face to that name.
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea what you look like, you chameleon guy.
Well,
but yeah, I mean,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna. I thought I saw someone ask the question: does X-Ray Girl still have her job? Oh yeah, does X-Ray Girl still have her job? She seems to travel all the time. That was Vince. That was. I don't. She is an X-ray technician, and she was speaking about it whilst we were there. sitting at the cafe and stuff like that. So I assume that she does still have her job because she was saying, I am a X-ray technician.
Yeah, that's what one of my brothers did. He's a radiation therapist now.
Yeah, we were talking about that because I was telling her that I had radiation therapy, X-ray radiation therapy. And she was saying, yeah, that's not what I do. But, she was just sort of explaining to us the differences and etc.
Yeah,
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was an absolute lot of fun to be able to hang out with all of them. It was a surreal experience, and it's like cherish memories for a fucking lifetime now.
Yep. And I just want to say, because for some reason I can't get into the public chat, only the private chat. I want to tell Maria I would love to meet her in person too.
Mm-hmm.
You're popular.
I'd like to meet almost all of you in person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a people person like that. I like talking to new people. I like meeting new people. Not everyone. You're not going to get along with absolutely everybody, and I'm sure I bore the fucking pants off an awful lot of people. And then some people find me very interesting. You're not going to win everybody over, and you're not going to get on 100% with everybody. But I do like to try and be at least friendly and respectful with everybody that I meet, and I'm sure there are people.
I try to burn bridges. That's what I do. I just burn them and nuke them. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Hey, Blackest Night, how you doing?
Howdy. What I was gonna say was, I've been sick for 17 years. I've spent the last decade basically isolated from most of the rest of the world. I go out for doctor's appointments and maybe to go shopping or something, like groceries, but I don't leave the house much. And I'm an extrovert, so I have been like starving for years. And getting able to go online and join Twitter, and then being invited to Common Nerd's birthday stream, and then getting to come back again and again. I'm literally healthier because of you guys. My life is actually improved. My mental stability has improved because I have you all in my life to one degree or another. And I'm very grateful for that.
A lot of people say that about this, even in like you were saying earlier, where the parasocial element of these sorts of relationships can have a negative effect. They can also have a very positive effect, because there are people, like, for example, in the Friday Night Tights chat, or in D-Day Cobra's chat sometimes, saying, you guys got me through a really rough spot. Now, up until that point, none of the panel knew that person existed, apart from maybe seeing one of their chats sometimes. But then they get this super chat, and it's like, you guys helped me to get through a really tough spot in my life. And even though they didn't know him as as an individual, they were able to like make him feel part of a community, to make him feel like his opinion. Yeah. I feel like I'm explaining it badly, but yeah, you get what I mean.
No, that's cool.
No, I get it. I mean, I wrote a letter to Ichiro Oda that I'd been in a really bad place with my condition. My pain was really bad. I couldn't get a single doctor. I'm not going to go into one of my rants, but I hate the DEA and I hate the CDC more than I can say. But I couldn't get painkillers. I was really, really bad place, and I was thinking really, really bad thoughts. And that was when I first started watching One Piece, and then I got pulled into it. And I've promised myself, no matter how bad this disease gets, I'm going to see the end of One Piece, no matter what. So I will find out what the hell is on Laugh Tale. I will find out what the One Piece is. So I literally sent him a letter saying that you saved my life and you're one of the reasons I'm still going. And it turns out there are a lot of people who say that. There's a One Piece YouTuber, Library of Auteur. He has a very similar disease from me, and he's dedicated his entire life to One Piece. So I get that idea very well.
That's cool. Yeah. That just means that I have more work to do.
Well, you know what? Hale lives in Vegas, so he should be the one organizing it all for us to come visit him.
Oh, he does? Then cool, because Selena and Aaron live in Vegas too, and I'm planning on going out there. Maybe
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby. Yeah,
And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I'm just listening to. I hear the
Nothing
beginning
smartphones
of
were invented.
The Hangover. That song at the beginning. That Danzig song at the beginning of the Hangover.
What did you say, Tony?
I said not since smartphones were invented. What stays in Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, man. Well, if you really
What
want to
happens
go
on
back
the
to it, let me
internet
tell you
stays on the
something,
internet.
kids.
Yep.
Call ID ruined it. Call ID just ruined it, man. You'd find out who a stalker was in a heartbeat before you had no idea who was calling 24,000 times in a row. Not that I'd ever do that.
Except for herpes, that shit sticks. Yeah.
Where are you moving to, Maria? Maria's gonna move. She put in the chat.
Well, don't dox yourself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm like state-wise.
That is one thing
Yeah,
about
moving to 901 Cherry Grove. Yeah,
that
it's
is
gonna be.
that is one thing about living here that's pretty cool. Not a lot of people gonna dox you here. It's just like, really, you live in Alabama? Oh, that's okay. Well, write him off that list. We're not going there. We know what happens there. Yeah, lots of bad shit. You don't want to come to the state. It's terrible.
Ain't you Billy Bob's
Nothing
cousin?
but a bunch of idiots like me in Camelot running around saying a bunch of dumb shit. Fucking never wearing shirts. There ain't no paved roads and plumbing. It's all outhouses and dirt roads.
Well, Tim
Everything smells like illiteracy and incest.
Tim
Not
Pool
sure how
was
that
saying something
smells.
similar about moving everything to West Virginia. He was like, people want to come after me. A, every other time they've doxed me, it's not been my house. B, you actually knew where I am and you want to come, that's fine. I got lots of neighbors. They're all MAGA and they're all armed.
Yeah, West Virginia. Dude, man, I won't even go. Look, I had to have my shoulder my clavicle remanufactured because a bicycle. I wrecked a bicycle, and that's like 2 feet off the ground. I'm not about to get up on an 18-foot telephone pole. You gonna climb that? No, sir. You're a braver man than me. I can't handle it. I just know that, like, I'm allergic to pain. It hurts, and bones break. And I've broken a bunch of them. And, like, unlike, like, you know, like the movies and stuff, when you get a whole bunch of metal inside your body, it doesn't make you a cool cyborg. It just gives you worse arthritis.
I'm absolutely shit with stuff like that. Look, if as soon as I get up there, I'd be all right climbing up as long as I keep looking up. Yeah. As soon as I get up there and I look down, my legs would turn to fucking jelly, and I would just be clinging on like a little bitch, like a cat stuck up a tree. You'd have to send a fucking team of people up there to get me.
Yeah, I'm not so great with heights myself.
It's falling from them, like Diesel says. That's the issue I've got with it. It's not the heights; it's falling from it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the fall that kills you; it's the ground.
It's that sudden stopping.
Yeah, that sudden stop.
That sudden stopping and stuff like that. It was a bicycle too, man. That's no fun. I need to get a whole bunch of, like, just put a
bicycle. What the fuck are you talking about? Why would you be riding a bicycle up there?
All right. See if you can see.
He's talking about his cyborg part.
Right there.
Oh, I see. I was like, why is he riding a bicycle up a fucking telegraph pole?
I was standing up. I was standing on the. I missed what you said.
I love you, Jack. I'm sorry. This is the image of someone
What
riding
did
a
you say?
bicycle. He said, "What did you bring up a bicycle? Who's riding a bicycle up a telephone pole?"
Oh, yeah, I was doing that too. I was balancing one of those
Yeah, I know, like a
poles.
fucking unicycle.
It was a fucking there was a bear in a tutu behind me walking up the line too.
You just fight. You just like rolling backwards and forwards along the telephone line,
Yeah.
fighting each other.
Nah, man, I was only like
Anyway.
on the bicycle pedals and like it was a piece of shit Roadmaster. Don't ever buy that thing. It's like a Sam's Choice bicycle or something like that. It came from Sam's, and I was standing on the pedals, and it would pop gears. And when it did that, the momentum dumped me over the handlebars onto the asphalt, which, in the words of the surgeon, destroyed my clavicle, which
Ouch.
was fine. And now it's like nothing but metal plates in there. So yay.
Black as Night says the dumb part about it is we have to wear a long sleeve collared shirt for training.
Up a telephone pole.
You've got to
look
wear
nice
a
when
long
you
sleeve
fall to your
collared
death.
shirt to go up and down a telephone pole. That has got to be.
At least you look nice when you fall to your death.
Like, seriously, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, I ain't a fan of airplanes either. I flew on one once.
Oh, I love flying. I do.
I went up to Connecticut.
No, I love flying.
That's
Absolutely
all I have to
love
say
it.
about that.
I went up to Connecticut.
That's all I have to say about that.
It's like in Wayne's World, where they've got the green screen behind them and they keep flashing all these different places. Like, hey, I'm in Hawaii, on the Chekaliki, and like it turns to Delaware, and it's like, I'm in Delaware.
Yeah,
I'm in Delaware. I went to Connecticut.
The size of some cities.
Installed satellite for a cult one time. Wow.
For the cult, the band?
No, those are the
yeah.
stories.
She sells sanctuary.
Nobody has any idea what we're laughing at, Jack.
No one.
Oh, I was laughing at him. What are you laughing at?
We're laughing at the cult joke that I made about the band.
Mm-hmm.
See? You don't even know about. You don't even know. See, you don't even know about that. So there you go. It was funny. Jack got it.
It was a good joke. I enjoyed it.
It was nice.
Top tier.
Yeah.
Top tier.
If you notice in the description for the show tonight, man, I said a splendid time will be had by all.
Mm-hmm.
There you
Probably
go.
nobody will get. Only a handful of people will get that one either. Get that one too. Yeah.
Showing your age again.
Yeah, well, I did. I put that popped in my head, and I was like, Jack will get this. This is cool. That's a timeless album, though.
Well, I have just heard that there's an actual reason to want the writer's strike to end. I haven't cared two shits about the writer's strike. I think they're all idiots.
It
But
has something to do with One
it turns
Piece,
out
doesn't it?
season 2 of One Piece live action has all of its scripts finished. The day that they say here, the day that the what is it called?
Strike ends.
Strike. Thank you. The day the strike ends, they can start production on season 2, and we will have it within 12 to 18 months of the day they start, because everything's already been written out. So now I finally care. Get rid of the damn strike.
Well, you see, my issue with all of that is that they could just go with a company that isn't part of SAG-AFTRA. Do you know what I mean? What is the whole fucking deal? Why have they got to use those people? Why can't they just use people who are not part of a union?
Well, I don't think they can use the actors right now, like the people playing Zoro and Nami and
Oh, yeah. So this is. Oh, okay. I see. So because they're part of SAG.
Yep.
Or the Film Actors Guild.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. But so that's why they can't go forward. I mean, I don't think it is the writer's issue, because, like I said, all the scripts are written. It might be some of the show producers or like frontline producers, but even they don't matter as much. But you have to be able to have the cast. I mean, everyone's talking about how well it was so cast. If you start all over again.
Yeah. I totally get it. There's no way you could recast that now. Don't recast it.
No.
It's a good ensemble.
Yeah, And they seem to actually have gelled really well. They seem to have gotten along off camera as well, which makes a difference in a show a lot of times.
I just like the fact that a lot of these actors, you don't know who they are. It's
they don't
all
come with
fresh
baggage.
faces.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no expectations. There's, it's sticking really close to the lore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be really, really successful. Well, it is already really successful. If you can get the likes of D-Day Cobra and fucking Gary from Nerdrotic to like these kinds of shows, then you're doing pretty well, because they fucking complain about everything.
Everything, and they like this. So yeah,
it was #1 streaming for Netflix, #1 in 87 countries.
On a different note, Maria, get a Toyota or a Honda, but probably a Toyota. Go with a Toyota. Those things don't get good and broken into until you get about 250,000 miles on it. What? I'm not kidding.
I don't know. Just leave it on any street in LA. It'll soon get broken in.
Yeah, I will say.
I bet Drew Barrymore's show is better. Oh, go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
No. Oh, her talk show.
No, you were about to say something about. You were about to say something to California.
Wasn't as horrible as California is, and it really, really is on every level. It's not weather. At least in the southern part, like in the San Diego County area, we have the least of the insanities of California.
That's the last.
Our cars can park on the street regularly without a problem. It's very nice. The idea that you even have to say that is disturbing, but yes.
See, well, the Prius has all the batteries and all that other crap in there, man. Go with an old Camry, even better.
No, Blackest Night. Get the Toyota pickup truck from the 80s, the one that everybody loves to use as a militia vehicle.
Yeah.
There's like hundreds of them running around Africa.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, yeah, that's usually, those things, they go forever. I know a dude that had one. He had an 85 Toyota. And let me tell you something. Like, his engine was just covered in mud because he would take it mud riding all the time. That's what, like, rednecks do. They go and drive through mud with trucks and stuff.
Oh, his engine. I thought you said engine. I thought you was going like, ooh. I thought you meant engine.
Oh. Dot, not further. Further, not dot.
Has the Taliban Humvee, yeah.
Toyota truck for the 80s.
Where would you find one that dealers should have? I've got no idea. I was making it halfway as a joke, but Blackest Night's right.
Get you a Camry without all the batteries and such. Yeah.
Or just throwing it out there, right? Get rich. Get someone to drive you around.
So, someone had said something about Boa Hancock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Earlier. Wait till you see Boa
Hancock. That was MSK.
Oh. Okay. This is Boa Hancock. Her throne is a fucking giant snake.
What does that tell you? That's alluding to something there.
She's also known as the Pirate Empress, and she's one of the 7 warlords.
Well, I'm glad you made that. I'm glad you made that distinction there, Blackest Night.
Was you sharing something? Are you sharing a screen?
Oh, did it not show?
No, you got to present it.
Oh, I thought I did that. Oops.
You must present it.
You're talking about what's on screen and it's not on screen. Hold on, give me a second. Oh, my browser blocked it. Great. Hold on. I can do this, I swear.
You can put a link in the private chat.
I'm not a boomer. I mean it. I'm not a boomer. I promise.
Where's Chrissy?
Who?
Chrissy?
Did you see that on Friday Night Tights? About 3 hours in, Gary goes, "Where's Chrissy?" People like, motherfucker, we're 3 hours in. She ain't been here all night.
Hold on. He just didn't notice her?
Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah, I think she was in the. I think she was in the backstage area of.
No, she was in
StreamYard.
L.A., man, like doing a show. She wasn't on, and like.
Okay, am I sharing now?
Yeah, now you are.
Yay! Yay! I'm sharing now. Okay, cool. So this snake goes with her everywhere and becomes her throne. It literally coils up and she sits on it. Ah. See, like that. She's considered the most beautiful woman in the entire world for One Piece. And she has the ability to turn men to stone with her devil fruit.
Yep, she's like Medusa.
Yeah, except Medusa was supposedly the snakes and her ugliness turned into stone. With Boa Hancock, you have to feel lust. If you feel lust, then she can turn you to stone. And one of the Marines actually takes in one of the Marine vice captains, vice admirals, whatever, takes in a knife and stabs it through his hand while Bo is turning his entire crew to stone because the pain from stabbing his own hand was the only thing that could stop him from feeling lust for her. She's a badass character. I want to play Boa Hancock. For years, I thought about trying to figure out a way to make my wheelchair look like the snake so I could go as Boa Hancock for Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
I'll figure that out someday. I will.
I'm sure we figure out something.
Yeah.
Okay,
right then, mate.
What? What was that?
I was just saying to Diesel, right then, mate. So what are we doing then? Because it's like it's 3 o'clock in the morning for me now.
You need to roll, brother. Yeah, we could probably, since it's like 9, we could probably end it, man. 3 hours, you know.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure. I had a lot of fun.
As did I, always.
And it's nice to be able to talk to someone who's such an expert on One Piece because I've literally fallen in love with the show. So much so that it's caused me to, start watching the original anime and to want to sort of like start finding some of the old manga, because I've seen there's like a full fucking set of them, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, interesting. I don't know if the libraries in England do, but here in America, there's a lot of libraries that actually have digital versions of the volumes.
Mm-hmm.
And if there isn't one in England, if you use your email address, you can actually get a free online library card for the LA library, no matter where you live in the world.
That's very interesting to know, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time as well, I might actually be able to find copies on archive.org, the Internet Archive, because they often have a whole bunch of shit on there.
Well,
But that LA library one, that's an interesting thing to look into. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a friend who was in another state who really needed a library card, and she was homeless, so she couldn't give an address. And I was like, all you need is an email address. LA will take care of it.
Nice.
But the other thing about getting the entire volumes from the library is you get those little SBS sections with all the questions being answered and Oda telling all sorts of stuff.
Nice. Okay, cool.
It was interesting. You said earlier fan service.
I
get very confused because I thought fan service was what you said, that fan service that is paying homage to the lore, paying homage to the original so that the fans are happy. But whenever I talk about fan service, everyone says, like a lot of people online say that fan service just means big boobs and like doing sexual stuff for the male audience. Is there like a different phrase, or am I just totally confused?
No,
fan service. Well, fan service, as far as I'm concerned, is like, putting member berries and stuff in shows,
Easter eggs and things.
Yeah, and putting all that kind of stuff. But when we're talking about paying fan service in terms of this show, I think it's a case of we've seen so much wokery that instead of it just being the norm, that they're sticking to the lore of the show and sticking to it faithfully, that this is apparently fan service. And it's like, well, Okay, yeah, if that's what it takes to get a show that's not fucking woke and intersectional, let's go for it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm happy to call it whatever you want.
No, absolutely. It was the thing was I was talking to someone online. I was in a group, and I said such and such show has great fan service, as in Easter eggs for the fans. And it was like, "There's no breasts in that." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, fan service is when they make panty shots and the girls are all overly sexy and their boobs are too big. That's fan service. I'm like, okay, so what's it called when they just do things that the fans like in general?
I don't know what they were talking about.
I know what you're talking about,
right.
man.
It can get confusing. That's all I'm saying. Is it can get a little confusing because some people think that phrase means one thing and other people think it means something else. So, but One Piece actually has a lot of both. That was one thing. Except for that scene at the bar, Nami didn't use her sexuality at all. In the anime and the manga, she does use it a bit more. It's a bit more of her part of her character.
Well, yeah, of course, because you can't have a Netflix show that's promoting, female sexuality and using that. That's her only power. Do you know what I mean? That's her only she's got to be a girl boss, hasn't she? So she can't just use her tits to get away, because she's got to be shown as a girl boss.
Well, that's part of the thing is she doesn't do it as much in the East Blue Saga because she still hasn't gotten totally comfortable with the rest of the Straw Hats and she's still under Arlong and all that. So there is less of it in the manga and anime, even in the East Blue Saga, more than was in the show, but not too much. So when she gets into the Grand Line, Nami is sexy and she uses that as a really serious ability.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll be interesting to see if Netflix will let the character be the character. I mean, it's very nice that they stopped giving Sanji nosebleeds, though. I'm very happy that they decided to not go forward with that one.
Yeah,
Though I think his eyebrow could have been twirly, and that's one of my little nitpicks that I really in the anime. Zoro never says Sanji's name. I think he said it like once ever. He calls him curly brows or dumb cook or all these other things. And half the phrases he uses about Sanji are about his stupid eyebrow. So if he doesn't have a curly eyebrow, all those jokes are gone.
Well, cool, y'all. It is 9 o'clock, and I think we are going to end it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and listening to us talk about all kinds of stuff and jobs and whatnot. And thanks, Jack, for telling us what went down.
Yep.
The UK meetup, man. That was cool. Wish I could have been there. Hopefully I'll
And
get
for
to
being
show
willing
up.
to wait up till 3 o'clock in the morning to talk to us.
Yeah, no kidding. Seriously.
Well, this is supposed to be a regular occurrence now. I really don't mind. I think we're supposed to be doing this stream together every Monday, aren't we, Diesel?
Yeah. If we're going
or something like that, anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't realize your shirt was Pokemon, not Pac-Man. Just now. That's so cute.
Ghostesses.
Yeah, I got a bit full up earlier eating ghosts.
Oh, now you're gonna get NPC money doing that.
Oh Lord, don't even go there. My buddy was telling me about that.
Glizzy's yum.
You seen those videos about the NPC? I'm like, oh my, yes, dude, yes.
I find them unbelievably cringe and unbelievably annoying, and yet there's a small part of me going, "Why are you not doing this? If it's fucking free money, practically free money for acting like an idiot, who cares? Why aren't you doing this?"
Because, my dear,
I don't think I can
called it's called self-worth
exactly.
and integrity.
Well, I have an idea for something that does not have a lot of integrity necessarily, but so with my condition, the only time
Just don't get the tits out.
No, I'm not actually getting my tits out.
Okay.
Not quite. But the only time I'm in the least amount of pain possible is when I'm in the bathtub, and I will literally stay in the bathtub for like 6 hours with pounds of Epsom salts, lots of hot water, and I will literally be almost pain-free while I'm in there. So I've been thinking about putting on a bathing suit and trying to stream or do videos from the tub, because half the time when I sit here in front of my computer, I just start to feel pain and stuff, and I don't like my face on camera when I'm in pain.
Okay.
But I don't want everyone to think that I'm just trying to be a thought or a something. I wanted.
Well, they're gonna think that,
Of
but
course they're gonna think that. You're gonna be swimming in a tub in a bathing suit.
Well, at least I'm wearing a
Singing
bathing suit.
songs.
yes, Vince, that's precisely what you're hearing. A hot tub stream.
That
She's
was
a
the
bit
thing,
late to the hot tub meta, but nevertheless, it was
totally.
inevitable at some point, wasn't it?
I said it's still something I'm thinking about. I haven't actually decided to do it yet, but
You'd sell a lot of foot photographs, I'm sure.
I don't have the prettiest feet.
That's okay. They don't have to be your feet. You can just like go online, go Google feet, yeah, and just send people random people's feet. How can they prove that they're yours?
Didn't Amaranth sell her bathwater? I could try that.
Yes, she probably sold everything, and then some poor sap would buy it. Blech.
You could
Like,
literally
drink it
fill jars up with water that you've squirted some shampoo into. Yeah, some shampoo and body wash. Just like fill up a bath full
It
of.
smells a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you could just fill up jars and send them
Right.
to people. How
And then
could they
people-
prove?
Part of me feels like this is insane, and part of me feels like I should do it anyway because people who are that dumb deserve to lose their money to me.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I hate that entire sort of thought culture, the taking advantage of people who really, lonely people that are looking for this parasocial relationship to, for any sort of semblance of some kind of relationship with a real person because they can't seem to manifest it in their own lives. But I also say, don't hate the player, hate the game. So if you're gonna grift, do it good.
You might as well go full out.
Dear Lord.
Oh my God.
That's just disgusting. I'm shouldn't have highlighted
Wait. Amaranth molded her lady bits and made a fleshlight, and she's now making beer from her vagina yeast. Oh, that's disgusting.
That's
But
so gross.
the
gross
fleshlight molded from her vagina.
That's insane.
That's terrible. I want to cast like the worst possible sort of things I can say about this. Please, someone send me the link so that I can.
That's like
so that I can denigrate this thing.
So she poured like what? I'm so confused right now.
No, you can mold your lady bits, can't you, with just plaster or silicone, like cool mold silicone.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I've seen life casting is a thing basically.
Well, I know life casting for most things, but as someone with lady bits, no, and no.
I mean, I do wonder how they're going to get all those like little intricate bits and folds and stuff like that.
3D print it.
I can't believe we're trying to figure out how this works.
Well, I'm curious to know whether or not she's got innies or outies. Is it nicely tucked away in there, or is it like a big fucking like ham sandwich?
Are we gonna get Diesel kicked off YouTube for having this conversation?
Diesel, what you reckoning? What's your money on Amaranth? Is it nicely tucked away, or is it all like hanging out like a ham sandwich?
Ham sandwich.
Ham sandwich. Okay.
Yeah. That's my guess. I don't know, man. She's 99.9% plastic anyway, so like she doesn't do it to me. I bet if you left her out in the sun for a while, she'd melt.
Just look what happened to Joe Biden. I don't know. Anyway,
the idea that any medical professional would call themselves a medical professional and sign off that man is perfectly capable of doing his job.
They will do anything, man.
They should lose their fucking license. If you have to be arrested.
it's the same as Glitch McConnell, isn't it?
Yes.
I think it was the Babylon Bee. Someone had a meme recently. It was like, "We're trying to decide if Grandpa should go in a nursing home or Congress." I think that's what we had. Someone else said it, so I'm stealing it, but I don't remember who it was, so I can't give them credit. But someone said that basically the U.S. Congress is the most expensive nursing home in the world, and it really is. There's
You
no way
really need term limits.
Yes, there's no way that Feinstein or Fetterman or Biden or any of these other ancient sons of bitches are actually doing their jobs.
Anytime I see Fetterman, I don't hear him talk in his own voice. All I hear is a caveman. That's all I hear is like, people make Fetterman sad.
No,
Fetterman go away
I'll
until
think-
people make Fetterman happy. Then Fetterman come back.
All I think about is how Salty Cracker turned Fetterman into not only a verb and an adjective, because he kept saying he's about 3 out of 5 Fettermans and stuff like that. He's running on about 2 out of 3 Fettermans.
Wow.
And people, yeah.
I give that a solid 3 Fettermans out of 5.
Yeah, I think he's about 4 or 5 Fettermans.
I got dogpiled for saying some of this stuff. They were like,
Yeah,
"You're an
fuck 'em.
ableist." I'm like, "Bitch, I'm an actual freaking handicapped activist. That's not that's not ableism. To say that you have a problem. Ableism is expecting someone who has a problem to do something normally without help. That is ableism. Forcing that man with brain damage to do shit, to dance on your strings, that is ableism. Letting him go home and rest and possibly heal, that would be being supportive of the handicapped. I get so angry
Fetterman
when they try
sad.
to... Exactly.
Fetterman want to go home. Fetterman can't go home.
Have him talk like, you know, when Phil Hartman used to do, it would be like Tarzan, Frankenstein, and it was Tarzan, Frankenstein, somebody else, and they'd be singing songs on the whole Saturday Night Live. It was like, Phil Hartman's Frankenstein, and that's all he would say.
Vince has just put it in the chat. All I hear from Fetterman is putting on the Ritz.
No, man, it was just, hello, good night. Hey, yeah. That was a couple of months in there. That was like everything. Every Salty Cracker video would be on there, man. Every morning when I would get up, I get on YouTube, and it's like it's a new Salty Cracker video. It makes me laugh my ass off.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway.
Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap it up. Anybody, Jack, what you got going on this week, brother?
I think, not too sure, maybe Friday, because I'm pretty sure it was Friday. I was on Waifu Kron's channel, so go check out that video where I was on there. Maybe I think I'm going to be on next week's episode on Friday. I haven't been invited yet, but I'm just assuming at the moment, so maybe not. You can also check me out on Twitter at JackTarLad. I'm going to actually be putting out a couple of videos shortly because I've obviously been waiting to have this talk on here about what was happening down there, but I've got some videos that will be coming out to do with some of the photos and stuff that I took whilst I was down there, some of the like random videos that I took whilst I was down there. So I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on the David Attenborough skit that me and Garrett did. So there's a little bit more to it than just that. So I'll look out for that, basically. Yeah, on YouTube as well, JackTarLad.
Thanks for giving us the exclusive on the
meetup.
FNT UK meetup, dude.
It's okay, buddy. I wanted you to have it because we go way back with Garrett anyway. So if anyone deserves to have it, it's you.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. Tiny, what you got going on this week?
Well, I have Wednesday at Common Nerds, Wednesday Wines Down, and that's it for the moment.
Cool.
Who knows? Maybe I will start trying some test footage and see if I can become a hot tub streamer. God, that sounds bad.
A little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, Tiny. It's not the direction I thought that you were gonna go in.
Yeah,
But I'm not judging at all. It's like
no judgment here.
it's up to you. You do what you want.
Well, in some ways, it's more along the lines of I've been wanting to do stuff, and then I sit in front of the computer and it doesn't get done because I don't feel well. So might as well try it when I actually feel well.
Cool.
Other than that, I'm at WompyBoxed on Twitter, and that's it for now.
Yeah, I need to be better about putting links in the chat because, yeah, I'm gonna real quick before we go. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, I'll pop mine in the chat. Oh.
I already did yours.
Womp womp.
And let me get back to and there we go. And here is Tiny's. There we go.
And then I'll do this thingamabob here as well. I'll put my thingamabob in the doobry firkin right here. There we go. That's my YouTube channel right there.
Yay! And yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. This will probably be the Dollar Store Grifter podcast. We're going on for a while. Stole this from some dude that was trying to talk smack about us from MSK, and it sounded like there was Dollar Store Diesel D's. So I did a little
These nuts.
I did a little D's nuts. Did a little elementary school math and put that together. But everybody, have a good one. I'm going to get an outro sometime. Probably won't be me making it because I don't know about editing and smart stuff like that. I'm about 2.5 Fettermans out of 5 as far as editing goes. So thanks for hanging out, everybody, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.
Have a nice night, everybody. Bye.